Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are live on a Monday night. We are ready to roll. We are kicking off another week in wrestling with WWE RAW. And the final bump to WrestleMania is out of the way. So it's a straight shot all the way. We are 40 days away. So for 40 days and 40 nights, you're stuck with us, fellas. It's going to be a fun one, a fun ride. So make sure you hit like, subscribe, click all the buttons below. Be a part of the family. It's going to be a fun one, folks. So strap in, strap on, grab your snacks, grab your feel good. Let's go. Ding, ding. We are live and back at it again, folks. Like I said, we are the Wrestling for Life Network. We are the channel that discovers more live wrestling than anyone else out there. And we are happy to be back at it again after a much needed, almost 2 days sabbatical. Almost. It's big for us, big for us. So it's been a fun couple days, folks. And Nick and I are looking forward to getting into all the action for Raw. They just announced that Cody's going to take on Waller. Of course, the fellas on the screen below are going to be in a fight as well. So it's going to be a action-packed, interesting night, the fallout from Elimination Chamber and all that fun stuff. But I will remind everyone out there who I hope is having a wonderful start to your week, you are stuck with Mr. Every Night, KJ White, the Iron Man of YouTube, and Mr. Big Nick.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling for Life Network proudly brings to you its YouTube tag stream champions of the world, the Every Night Delight, KJ White. I'm Big Nick. And yes, like Jesus, we have risen again here for Monday Night Raw. And I'm kind of mad at you. I didn't even think of the 40 days and 40 nights line there. Yes, we're exactly 40 days away from WrestleMania. So we are on the fast track to WrestleMania.
There we go. So let our wrestling people go. We are going along.
And, we're taking this to the biblics, folks.
We're going biblic on this one, and we will part the Red Sea one way or the other.
Pause.
But, folks, welcome back. Like I said, I hope everyone out there is having a wonderful kickoff to your week. Monday's in the books. I will remind everyone before we start getting into all the ruha of the night, but we're here all week long. NXT tomorrow. Sting's last Dynamite on Wednesday. Ospreay's official first Dynamite, so it's going to be a big night there. Impact's rolling along, the fallout from No Surrender. Friday, The Rock is back in the building, so he's scheduled for the next 3 SmackDowns, Nick. That's going to be a fun one. Saturday, we're here for Collision and House of Glory. Relax, Damien, we are going to watch House of Glory. We're going to have that, and then, of course, Sunday caps all the way off with a little bit of AEW Revolution. I hope everyone's excited out there. Busy week on the channel, busy month. Like we said, 40 days and 40 nights.
Absolutely.
So how you feeling, Nick?
I feel great. Well, I was going to ask you, speaking of certain people feeling type of ways and everything, as granted, we'll get to the chat here in a quick second. Appreciate everybody. But how are you feeling about, I've seen this kind of talk online and everything that Elimination Chamber was mid, was predictable, was not the greatest premium live event. There was somebody going around that literally broke it down minute by minute and everything. If there was 54 minutes between this, everyone's just shut up, nerd. It's just, how are you feeling? Because I know we both kind of gave it like an 8. I think I gave it an extra tiffy 8.5. But there's this whole narrative going on that we didn't get a lot of surprises, that it was too predictable. Everybody's predictable now.
Spoiled bunch of brats. The wrestling fans of the world. Can I ask you a quick question? And this is going to play into how I feel about everything. But you and I watch boxing. We watch UFC. We dabble, and some nights there's a UFC card, and on that UFC card, the main part of the card, the people we expect to win, the people we expect to dominate, the champions that are on a hot run, they do exactly what we expect. Do we come off that show and go, oh man, that UFC sucked? No surprises, no big upset. No, we do like when they happen, but that doesn't take away from the value of what we got. And in a lot of cases, that's what, if you're presenting real sport, that's what's going to happen. Rhea Ripley was supposed to win. Would it have made it a better Elimination Chamber if Rhea didn't win? No. What if, Drew didn't win? So all the work they've done for Drew to be the guy to take on Seth, oh, he doesn't win it. Randy Orton wins it. Now what do we do? Well, the fans are happy because they were surprised by that, but where do we go? Same thing with the other chambers. So that is my issue with this whole we didn't get surprises. Hey.
Yeah, well, and I think we did get surprises, and I'm glad that you left off Becky there, because Becky seems to be the focal point right now of this, of that it was too expected and no.
It's supposed to be.
Right, you got surprises throughout that whole night. You just needed to actually appreciate them. It was a surprise at how good that tag match was. No one expected that to be that good of a tag match. Granted, we should have at least expected that they would have had to blur out something because the whole front row was flipping off Dom, and we at least just thought it was a technical error.
The Aussies blacking out the screen.
Right, but we didn't expect Logan Paul and Randy Orton potentially allegedly getting into a feud. Maybe Kevin Owens is sitting on the sidelines when it comes to the U.S. feud come Mania. Wait and see.
Yeah.
And we especially did not expect, well, some of us didn't. I mean, I'm always on Tiffy time, but the star-making performance, like you even said it on stream, the sun might be setting, but a star is born when it comes to Elimination Chamber out there in Perth, because Tiffany Stratton had done nothing but elevate her stock to the next level.
Yeah, she was definitely the MVP. No, I don't think a lot of us, people could have said, oh, I saw that coming. But did we really see the fact that AJ Styles was going to go running in and just, chair shag the hell out?
That's a level of pettiness that I appreciate, because this man took a 20-hour fight and even went against his whole flat earth theory just to sit there and just take out LA Knight. So this man is dedicated to his pettiness.
I wonder if he got real nervous getting that close to the edge of the square world. But anyway.
Right, yeah. He's like, am I going to fall off? Am I going to make it there? Where's the edge?
But no, he went to AEW. But nonetheless, again, was it the most, oh my God, pay-per-view? No, that's fact. Are we going to rate Elimination Chamber when we get to the end of this year and we start giving out 4 lifeys? Will it be pay-per-view of the year? Probably not. But as far as everything we expected to get and it being quality, that's their job. And I think that's what they delivered. I stand by my previous rating of solid show. Didn't say it was unreal or, unforgettable, but solid. Becky should have won. Was Tiffany going to win and take on Rhea? No. Is Liv? I don't want that right now. Like I said, sometimes things are predictable. And I feel like the other side of the table, forget how predictable their shit is. Like we talked about, we were very critical of, the whole Devil storyline. We knew who the Devil was for months. Everything in wrestling can be predictable. That's what makes the surprises. I think I recently heard Cornette talking on his podcast about the old ECW, where like we need a surprise every week. And they're like, is it really a surprise if everyone's waiting around for a surprise? And if whether or not we get the surprise, hinders the overall quality of the show, because we've talked about this before, Nick, of we get a dog shit show, and then there's like, oh, someone showed up, or oh my God, there was a death match main event. That was an amazing show. To me, that doesn't save the overall product. So I'd rather get predictable quality. Sorry.
Yeah, you do get a law of diminishing returns when it comes to surprises and everything. And it's funny to me how the just enjoy the wrestling on it just seems to never enjoy wrestling, just for whatever reason. The ones that are always, well, just enjoy the wrestling. Well, then it's too predictable. Well, then we didn't get, 27 Canadian destroyers off the top of the pod and everything like that. Like, not every show has to have a huge surprise or a, oh my God, holy shit moment, because then those moments don't feel special.
Yeah.
And that, like I said, there was so many, and it's like when you compare it to a UFC card and you get your predictable outcomes, but you still get a surprise performance from some guy on the undercard that you had no idea about. You still get, okay, so he won here, so now this sets up here, this sets up that match. That's the type of stuff we got on this. We got actual layers to wrestling.
Yeah, like, do I expect the Judgment Day to lose the belts this close to Mania? No, I didn't. But man, was I super stoked about how well that match performed, how well they went in that ring and delivered for that tag match. For a guy who I'm dying for more good tag team wrestling, I got that with that match. I thought it delivered. I think this is 2 pay-per-views in a row, Rumble and Elimination Chamber, that the women outshone the men. I think the women's chamber was better. I think the women's Rumble was better. So kudos to Triple H for that little ditty. And again, it would have been really weird. We'd be sitting here right now talking about, well, what do they do with Drew? Is Drew going to AEW? Or what is it, all that wasted effort. They built Drew up to be the guy that was going to go after Seth in the absence of Cody. So entertain me as we get there.
They've pivoted it enough. They're not going to keep pivoting the whole time and just like, well, they're really behind Bianca. They were really behind Tiffany in Australia, so she's got to go over and she's going to take on Rhea. And then you instantly have her lose and you crush all that momentum. Well, then if she's not over in this, city, do you have her put her contendership on the line and then she loses it to Bianca because Bianca's over for that week? Like, they have a plan, they have a narrative, they have everything that drawn out. They're following through. They're finishing the story.
And the same fans that are online belly aching, this was too predictable. I knew everything was going to happen. Meh. The problem is when you do surprise them, they don't like it. I didn't see that coming. We talked about it the other day. Oh, I didn't see that coming. That's stupid. Why would they do that? They've been doing this and now they just do this. You can't have it both ways, people. Like if Nia Jax had won the main event in Australia, first off, bad booking. But the internet would have blown up. Nia sucks. I can't believe she did this. Why would they do that? Well, you wanted unpredictable. There you go. Oh, but we didn't think that. So again, I take it with a grain of salt. There's some people, I think it was CM Punk that said it best. Some wrestling fans have a toxic relationship with wrestling. Facts.
It's funny that you bring up CM Punk because there's a Seth Rollins interview and everything that I wanted to bring up, but we should
talk
to the people here before we get to that. We've already gone for like 12 minutes here.
Yes. Who we got first? Leslie was first in the house tonight. Nick reminding everybody to join our Discord, of course. Great place to hang out and click on all the tabs. I'm still trying to figure out that place.
Talk all the wrestling when we're not live. Absolutely. We got indie tabs. We even just throwing pizza parties up in there.
Facts.
KJ shouting out Little Caesars. Hashtag not sponsored.
Had to. After all the talking we did, I'm getting Little Caesars. Leslie, how you doing? Moonrunner, how's it going? C Money's back with us. The Squared Circle boys, we in here. Thank you for being in here. Damien, good to see you as always. Looking forward to some stuff. Juan is back with us. I also see Jacob Plays, why am I speaking Spanish?
You hit my favorite comment of before we were live here because why am I speaking Spanish? And then I came back with, looks like English to me. And then Unbroken came back with, why am I speaking English in America? Well, you're in Canada and you still speak English. So.
Facts. I invited some people from Instagram. Let's see if they show. Unbroken, that is incredible, man. We appreciate it. We always say the best currency we can have right now as a channel is just sharing the knowledge and spreading the word of the Wrestling for Life Network. More people tuning in, more people joining us, and we're growing by the goddamn second. It's been fun. We keep hitting milestones. We keep hitting records. And this Saturday, for all those out there, it will be our birthday celebration as we turn 2 years old. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. EQ back with all the popcorn, feeling it. New World Order.
Yes, I was going to follow up on you real quick. Go out there and spread the good gospel of wrestling. Absolutely. Shimana Haya, Shimana Handa, hallelujah.
Paul, good to see you. Eric Tate's with us. Ronnie, always a pleasure. Gave you a like. Everybody should be doing what Ronnie's doing. Hit that like button. It's effortless. Really, it's free to do. It's cheap. It helps us massage that algorithm a little. Eric Davison, what?
Same thing with that subscribe and everything like that, because, it's free. It costs you nothing, but it means the world to us. We've been tap dancing, with 3.9. We're on the tippy toes of 4K within 2 years. So let's see, like I said, if we can hit 4K subscribers by 2 years. Absolutely.
Well, like we always say, man, it's been a fun ride. Its first 2 years have gone extremely well, and we're gaining on a lot of people. Boston Gamer, what's up? I'm mad at you. I got this man sleeping in, lazy bastard. James and KC, how you doing? Christian Powers, Sophie's back with us. Richard Martinez, I see you. John's back. Rashad's back. Moonrunner, who I think is a newer name. So make sure you hit like and subscribe as well. One of my favorite names in the chat, Brother Fluff Salisbury. How you doing? How you doing? Polo's back. How you doing, Ryan? Who do you got? I got Dale, the OG.
Rashad. Tom out here saying, hey, brother, I didn't deserve a timeout. Sorry about that, brother. Great channel, not trolling. Sorry about that. And hello. Pause. Sometimes in those commas are a friend every now and then. But yeah.
Right.
Well, sometimes, you know, you just
get a little slap on the wrist just to stop.
Yeah, it's a little slap on the wrist of, you know, just keep everybody in check.
It's nothing but love. We always say we're not blockers around here. We don't block people who are having different opinions. But if you're kind of mucking up the chat, you might have to go sit on the bench for a couple minutes. You'll be all right.
Yeah, he's an old hockey coach. He's used to sending people to the penalty box and everything like that. That's it. Just fucking, you're off the ice. Boop.
Right.
Hagen, what up? I got Sean. Kenny's movie place. This is getting long as hell.
It just doesn't stop. I love it. I love it. Come on, folks.
Yeah, it's amazing. But folks, I will remind everybody at this point, because we're still struggling to get through roll call here. We do have the super chats, the super stickers, the memberships, all of that 100%. If you want to make sure you stand out, you show up and show out, because that's what the show's about, and help support the channel as well. That's the way you get your, make sure we get to your comment and everything.
Hello, Cool Gamer. Bash 8 back with us. Good to see you. Good to see you. Who else we got? Kevin, as always, a pleasure. Kyle Cabral. Roll call is getting super long. Dave, Greg, I love it. Alexis, Swami, Swanson. Corey, exactly. MDB, the leader of the knee pad gang. Pause.
And Alexis shut up. But yeah, I don't know where this knee pad police has, you know, shown up in our chat here, but it's whenever we're watching shows, we have, you know, no one expects the Spanish Inquisition with knee pads.
Mike Clayton, good to see you. Now, I've seen a few chat messages, and I was trying to see, I was trying to verify, but Ole Anderson passed away.
Oh, what? No.
Yeah, apparently Ole Anderson passed away.
I got the Twitter machine. The X gonna give it to you up here. Let me see. Because if it is, damn.
Yeah, passed away, 81 years old. So T's and P's, we're sad to hear that. An OG, a horseman, a legend. Founding member of the Four Horsemen has passed away, former NWA star. Oh, Ricky Morton broke the news to Instagram.
Wow.
Yeah, Ole Anderson. So one of the OGs. Yeah, very sad news.
Oh, absolutely. And that sucks. Because like I just weaving over a little pause. We were talking before we were live of I just watched Iron Claw again. Because now it's on digital and everything. And I was getting back into that whole like let me run through watching like the old territories and everything and seeing the Four Horsemen, Ole and Anderson and Arn, the Brainbusters, and all of that. I know he might have been controversial as a booker, but as an in-ring talent, just one of the best.
Yeah, again, breaking news here, folks. I did not know that until you guys informed us. So, yeah, a bummer to hear that one. And thoughts and prayers out to the entire Anderson family. You know, I mean, we're going to see Cody tonight. You know, his connection to the Anderson family as well. Yeah, I mean, sad to hear that.
Does he bring out Arn? Because, I mean, Arn's a free agent.
Yeah, you never know. You never know, right? Mike, good to see you. Sean's back.
23 Glock salute.
That's 100% what we should get. 100%. Anthony Stevenson, welcome back. Welcome back. Dun, dun, dun. Four Horsemen for life. See money. I'm with you, buddy.
Absolutely. Again, Christ, that's part of why we got the 4 there.
Right? We had to get it from somewhere. So if you say the same thing, damn, long live Ole Anderson. Well, he'll go down in infamy again. One of the founding members of the Four Horsemen, passing away at the age of 81. So solid run in and out of the ring.
Absolutely. And so it's so funny because I know, like, I fully get with you keep bringing up like them as the Four Horsemen just for whatever with reason with me. I just think of the Anderson brothers, the Brainbusters. That's where I still picture them. But that's the thing is that shows the longevity and the, you know, stature of his career that he's in arguably one of the greatest tag teams of all time and one of the greatest factions of all time.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, undeniable for sure. Since we're celebrating Ole Anderson, my favorite Horseman moment is when they kicked Sting out of the faction because he thinks he can beat Ric Flair. That happened in Corpus. A lot happened in Corpus Christi, Texas. Easy for me to say.
Well, it's interesting that he brings that up when we kind of allegedly saw a potential Ric Flair heel turn again last Wednesday. So could we be getting another kind of 4 horseman angle, and that's the way that Sting goes out? That would be such an interesting kind of just the way the universe kind of falls together at times.
Yeah, and we'll definitely probably talk about that as we move forward this week. But very interesting times over there with what's happening with Ric Flair. But he wooing his way. And again, I mean, it's crazy. Like, kudos to Ric Flair. Still on TV, still involved in wrestling, still hanging on. But yeah, absolutely. I remember when Dean Malenko became a horseman. I remember all that situation. You remember that?
Yeah, well, and also shout out to another former horseman that's really going through it and T's and P's as well, but he's still here with us and going into Hall of Fame for the NFL is Mongo. So
yeah. And he's been battling for quite a while. Someone asked if Ole had been sick for a while. I don't know. But yeah, no, T's and P's for that. But folks, we are about 7 minutes-ish away from the start of WWE Raw. Get in that chat. Say hello. If you haven't hit like yet, do so. Take this link, drop it, send it to your friends. Bring all the wrestling discussion here. Whatever is on your wrestling mind, we are open to talk about here tonight. Lots, of course, to unfold. Coming out of Elimination Chamber, going into this week, heading into Revolution. So lots to definitely unpackage over the next few days.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of, at least packages, I guess, of Polo Ryan saying, this is a B-Day week for both of us. My birthday is Wednesday. Well, happy early birthday. But so we've got a couple minutes. How do you feel about the Seth Rollins line of fragile mind, fragile ego, fragile body? I think I know a guy who said that before.
Right. I thought it was cute. Again, it's this little blending. It's like the modern day, holding on of kayfabe in 2023, 2024, 2024 now, right?
Yes,
yeah, no, I mean, I like it. I like when they blend that, and everyone, for the people who know, go, oh, and for the people that don't, it just goes by them. But it's these cute little digs. And again, Seth knows at some point he will be getting in the ring with CM Punk. That's been the hope. If everyone can stay healthy. I mean, Seth is going to continue to do Seth type things. They've built this angle between CM Punk and Seth 90% away from the ring, right? So I like it. I love it. I think it's great.
Oh, absolutely. And especially with a situation like you said, if both guys can stay healthy, of something that's going to play out down the road. You've got to still kind of keep stoking the flames a little bit. Otherwise, that fire will burn out. And see, that's now how a certain other 3-lettered company, how you mention and kind of take shots or bring attention to somebody else without fully getting them over on your television.
Yeah, right. It's the subtleties, and you don't do it. I don't think Seth would make that comment in the ring. He'd do it on a side interview. He'd do it in other places. And, the last thing they want is like a Moxley chant during Raw, which we recently saw a Cody chant during Dynamite. Like, whoopsie. Tiffany was definitely the MVP of the Women's Chamber. To me, Tiffany was the standout in both. Like, she put on a show. I was actually a little surprised that Logan didn't do more of what Tiffany did. Yeah, he was cute with his Sharpie and, fucking around. But I thought we might get a little more from Logan Paul. Like, this is your opportunity to do a big backflip off something. Or he was a little subtle.
Arguably, because I'll say Tiffany is the MVP of that pay-per-view because she was getting Tiffy time chance during the men's chamber. So could it be that it was one of those of, well, you're not going to overshadow that, so maybe go the different route with it? I know I was right with there of I was expecting the, fucking the buckshot lariat off the top of the pod or something like that, or just a huge dive or something going through the pod. I mean, he kind of did that, but not him and the Kevin Owens thing was really unexpected, but really great. And that's why, to me, the Randy Orton Logan Paul feud potentially going forward is interesting.
Yeah, you know what? And I felt like the KO Logan Paul situation is not complete yet. Could it be KO and Randy Orton versus both Paul brothers? Could it be? I don't know, but it feels incomplete. And then all of a sudden, you know, I know a lot of people were like, "That was stupid." Da 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 da. No, he's an asshole heel who got RKO'd out of his shoes and got up and decked the guy for it. That is very much a heel move. But my curiosity becomes, where do we go from here now? You've seen, you know, like I said, I feel like one angle is not complete, and we've already shifted to another. I'm really curious how they play that out.
Yeah, you've really got to find a soft landing here.
Right? Absolutely. This one's for you.
Thank you, Boston. Yes, I know. There's a friend of mine on Instagram and everything that's been in the chat and everything that looks very much like Bear. That is from Maine, so that's where I got confused at 5 o'clock in the morning, sir. Hindsight's always 20/20, especially from an asshole.
Oh, there you go. Have you tried Woo Wings? I don't even know where you can get Woo Wings. I don't know if they sell them in store. I'm Canadian, so
Ric Flair's house, probably.
And I'm terrified at the idea of getting anywhere near a Woo energy drink, honestly.
Yeah. I might be dehydrated and pass out and faint twice in a match and then still think I can keep going.
Then again, I mean, an energy drink that makes you see colors, I might be up for. I might work. Just drink responsibly, folks. That's all I can say. Seth Rollins.
In other words, don't drink Woo energy.
Right. Fair enough. Seth Rollins is fragile. I don't agree with that, MDB. He's been pretty durable. He had a couple major injuries, but in between those major injuries, he's been pretty durable. And it looks like he's about to be medically cleared for Mania, even though he tore his MCL recently. So these guys have been pretty durable.
There's the reason that they're mentioning calling Seth Rollins the workhorse in their promos, like Roman and all of that, of, you know, now he might be towards the glue factory a little bit, but you do have to acknowledge that they're mentioning him being the workhorse because he shows up. He was there every week. That's his, you know, thing that he can hold over Roman's head of, I was there every week. Well, you showed up once a month.
Right. Yeah, I mean, again, and that sometimes plays into the durability question. I will admit, since CM Punk has returned to wrestling, he's lacked durability. It makes me a little concerned that this man doesn't have, you know, if he signed for 2 years or 3 years or whatever, he might not, can he complete his contract? He needs to have a wrestling match that it doesn't lead to him taking 8 months off after, because you
got one match out of him.
Right. So yeah, and again, he didn't even get, you know, a freak accident, gets hit with a future shock DDT. Wasn't even something really that where you would anticipate that he'd blow that particular part of his body. But that's my concern. But no, I mean, Seth is naturally a hero. Juan's completely right. Seth, 1 second. I got together.
Oh, geez, I got then.
Okay. Let me know when you get together. But ladies and gentlemen, WWE RAW is kicking off. Waiting for Nick to get to then.
Forever.
Or together.
Forever. I'm getting there. Come together right now over me. Pause.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. As we're in Philly right now. We're opening the night with
showing Philly, because we're 40 days away from WrestleMania 40. I keep going back to your 40 days and 40 nights
40
now.
days and 40 nights.
Let my smarts go.
Right? But here comes Drew McIntyre with a big old smile on his face. Of course, he's got his favorite CM Punk t-shirt on the handle of his luggage, because why not?
Well, and now can he hear? Because I don't know if you saw this, to where when he was getting interviewed backstage after the Chamber from Saxton, he was talking about he might have blown his eardrum because he couldn't literally hear what Sax was asking, and he just cut a promo. I thought he was going to turn it into that I had so much promo or so much pyro that I couldn't. I blew up my eardrum and everything. My ear's still ringing because he sat there and cut, put on Twitter, when you beat Cody, you get half of his pyro budget.
It was still a pretty big budget. As we are opening Raw, and Becky's in the house as well, but we are getting a recap from Elimination Chamber. Of course, it was Saturday morning. I hope everyone had a chance to catch up and see that, or at least catch up on what happened. Again, I know this was debatable, but sometimes when you run a straightforward, here's the show that we're expected to give you, fans are mad that they didn't get all the frills around it. And I thought it performed.
If you actually watched the show, not expecting the pump and the big pops, Daniel Bryan returns, and then so does Adam Cole, and then so does Bad Bunny and Post Malone and everybody else.
Yeah,
all of this shit. You get the details and you get the nuances throughout it.
Yeah, and now we're going into WrestleMania 40. We expect that WrestleMania 40 will have its share of surprises and twists and turns. We anticipate the Raw and the SmackDown after Mania is going to have some surprises, twists and turns. So if you can, and my argument is, if you're always doing some surprise angle, surprise finish, underdog story, that then it doesn't make it special when it happens. If every 2 months we had a Sami Zayn Roman Reigns feud, that Sami Zayn Roman Reigns feud doesn't feel as special as it did.
They already pivoted. When you keep pivoting, you end up back at, you do a 360, you end up back where you fucking started, which is the whole reason why you pivoted in the goddamn first place.
Right. Can I get your thoughts on FTR versus BCC at Revolution? The matches just keep getting added. Are we at like 12 yet? I think we're getting close. I think we're at 11.
Fair enough. I haven't checked in a hot minute here.
It should be a good match. I mean, we got a taste of it on Wednesday, the another 20-minute time limit match, and that turned into a brawl. I think in ring they can deliver. It all depends on how they show up and show out. Does Moxley sell? Will it become a Falls Count Anywhere Texas Death Match? That's what I'm intrigued with by this. It kind of came out of left field. My only other question, Nick, is what is the implications of this match? Why does this match matter?
Because they want to fight. That's the only reason. That's
Fair
really
enough.
what
I'm in.
It's one of those of BCC half the time they're babyface, half the time they're fucking heel.
So
like on paper, again, this is a good. If we were watching Wrestling Revolver House of Glory and we were going to get Moxley and Cesaro versus FTR on House of Glory, shout out Anthony, what up? Been fantastic. On AW, it's probably going to still be hopefully a good match in ring. There's no story. There's no repercussions. There's no follow through on any of this fucking shit.
Right. We are opening the show with Dom already in the ring. Here come the boos as he introduces Rhea Ripley, or is about to.
At least we can see him, instead of, it having to be cut out black and everything like that. But yes, we are in San Jose, California tonight.
San Jose.
San Jose.
So if Drew wins, does he get the entire big?
I didn't agree to this. Why I don't become Drew's servant because he wins or something?
Great Scott.
Hi.
Are you asking where Tom's brother Nick is?
Yeah, where's Tom or Nick here? Well, I saw people say when Ray showed up at the UFC event in Mexico that they were commenting, they were like, this man's doing everything he can to be an irresponsible father for Tom and Nick.
Well, here comes Rhea Ripley looking like $1,005,000 tonight, folks.
The woman that just had 50 some odd plus thousand people go to a pay-per-view pretty much just for her.
Right? John Horton, good to see you. Will the pay-per-view, AEW pay-per-view over under 10 hours? It better fucking be under.
Don't you put that evil on me. Don't you put that evil.
Dun, dun, dun. What's up, Anthony? How you doing? tuning into a little WWE tonight. Bama Beard back in the house, by the way. Folks, like Nick said earlier, if you want to guarantee that we click on your message, there's a super chat and super stickers. We try and click on as many as we possibly can, folks, but it's getting busy around here.
Little bit. Boston, time for all the Rhea sips together.
Here we go.
Present.
What's up, lady? Lady B. How you doing?
Why did that get me?
I don't know. Don't you put that evil on us, Bobby. What'd Bobby say?
Oh, about it being 10 hours.
Oh, yeah, no. But I think we're at I know, I always say the special number is 14. We'll see how accurate I am. Because we're getting close. He just announced they randomly threw together 3 big dudes for a Meat Mania match.
They got one meat chan, and now they've just ran off with, big beefy boys slapping meat. They've just constantly we found something that people think is cool, so we've just got to beat it into the fucking ground.
Yeah, it's very kiddie booking. And I find it odd that anybody would use Mania during WrestleMania season.
Oh, that's 100% what they're doing. That's a full job in their ass.
Casey, good to see how long before Becky comes out? Here we go. Called it.
But then I'm still people are
predictable.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. People are upset about it being Becky versus Rhea versus say it being a Bianca versus Rhea or even a Naomi versus Rhea. Naomi came back once most of these stories had already been set in place.
Yeah.
And not to mention, let's not forget, last WrestleMania, you had Rhea versus Charlotte, which was arguably one of the best women's matches that WWE's put on in a long time. So you don't think that this has the potential to be on that same caliber?
Yeah, they're going to tear it down. I have no problem with this. And I mean, again, you're looking at, we had the OG four horsemen that kind of reestablished women's wrestling across the board. We got an all women's pay-per-view because of them. They were dealing out banger after banger after banger. Anytime you put one of the 2 of the 4 of them in the ring together, it was a classic. And Rhea is kind of a representation of the next generation. And you need these matches to happen. Becky's going to deliver. Rhea's going to deliver. I have no doubt that this is going to be one of the better Mania matches.
And think about it. Rhea's torn through so far that half the 4 horsewomen, like you said, that established that new age of women's pro wrestling.
Yeah. And again, Becky not having any trouble getting pops.
Pause. But now, granted, we can talk about this in the next commercial break, but there's been an outcry of, we want Bayley because Bayley's not on the poster. She's not on the sippy cup. She's not on the program. She's not in the merch store, any of that stuff.
We want it all. Be greedy, folks.
Right. JV, what up? Nice to see Becky Lynch steal Avril Lavigne's look.
Dun, dun. Right? Avril.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, I like this of literally my guy wrestling for Life Network out here. You just get a star just for your name.
And the avatar is a bonus.
Yeah. What is Tony Khan?
Right. What's up, Mikkel? Good to see you. Good to see you. I think that's a new one.
Shout out to all the new names, by the way, as we're still, I believe, tippy-toeing at the 3.9 number. We're trying. Our birthday is on Saturday, folks. Let's see if we can hit 4K by our birthday. We already hit 1 million views, so why not 4K as well?
Be a friend, tell a friend. And we want that birthday stream to be busy. And I almost got 100 people here tonight. So let's fucking go.
Right.
Oh, I missed that. The crowd instantly turning on Dom.
I literally can't tell if my audio is behind or something, or if just literally I can't hear Dom because the boos are so loud.
I think he said nobody talks to mommy like that, but what did Becky just call him?
If your mommy won't put you in your place, what?
If your mommy won't put you in your place, the man will. Dom's going to get a spanking from somebody, that lucky fucker.
Pause. But is it just me, or like it's like can watching anime right now because I'll hear them and then they'll cut the promo.
Yeah, it's like an old Japanese movie of like their lips are moving, the audio's
It's
not really lined
MXC,
up.
don't get eliminated.
Bailey has to turn face. Give them time. Bailey has turned face. She's there. And again, guys, it's just about like Rhea got more of the spotlight because of Elimination Chamber being in Perth and stands out. I think Bailey will get her flowers. Trust me. And you really can't be mad at the fan base for the "We Want Cody" outshadowing everybody, not just Bailey.
And Basil, we have 40 days and 40 nights until we get there. So
Yeah.
we got plenty of time that she can make it on the poster. She can make it on the Sippy Cup on the program. Now, granted, does she main event night one?
Who, Bailey?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
She won the Rumble. She won the Rumble.
Maybe. I'm curious. I'm not sure what else is on the card yet. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be Seth and Drew night one.
Valid.
The man always thinks they're the backbone of everything.
Shout out feminism, I guess.
Behind every great man is a greater woman. And the ladies cheer vigorously.
Like I said, yay, women.
It's true.
No,
I can't even argue. I don't have a valid
it, but it's just awkward to have in a promo.
Can you say kumquat?
That's because the woman calls herself the man. Like,
well played.
She's not actually a man. What?
But there you go. So these two have at least come face to face and acknowledged the situation. That's how we're starting this one off.
Would have been a lot more effective if it didn't come across, at least on my program, like it was MXC. If you're watching it with you needed subtitles to can follow along.
Oh, wait a minute. Here's Nia. Nia Jax just can't. I told you, watch Nia. She could be involved in this Mania picture.
But is she involved, or is she just the placeholder?
Placeholder how?
As in, she's something to keep this kind of giving them something to do besides them having a match for over 40 days.
No, I think she might really push to be involved. As she is decimating Becky, which again, that's your number one contender getting annihilated.
Just don't punch her in the face.
Oh,
shout out. I love Nia, by the way. You got to make the joke.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Exactly. I'm with you, my guy. Oh, saved. We actually had a okay. Adam Pearce not happy. Now, the only thing I could see happening is like a Raquel or somebody from the chamber still having a bit of a vendetta against Nia for what she did to them. And that takes Nia out of the situation. But I don't know. I wonder if it's going to be like Becky, Rhea, Nia.
It could happen, but now you're going to get the people, or what do you do with Liv? Liv came back. She's got to, finish her story with Rhea.
Oh. People act like there's like this fucking deadline. Like she's what? How old's Liv now? 25? 26? Like
at best, yeah.
At best, she's a young lady. Like she can float in the mid card for a little minute. And I know she's uber cute, so everybody wants her to get all the love, but I would rather the better wrestlers get in there.
Wrestling does not end at WrestleMania 40. There will be a 41. There will be a 42.
We said the same thing with Cody of like, oh, he's never going to do it. And I'm like, he did not die. He
will. Much like us, like I said, even during Chamber when we started off tonight, much like Jesus, you will rise again.
He will rise again as they're running us through Cody Waller, Street Fight, New Day, and Imperium. We've talked about this, Nick. I think Imperium, Sami Zayn.
Right.
Are we doing Sami versus Shinsuke now?
It looks like it.
That's
I
fine.
would assume, unless Cody Waller main events, street fight main events.
Maybe, but I would say that like the Imperium have brought out a different edge to the New Day than we've seen in a while, and I've actually liked them a little more than I have been.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Liv is 29. Jeez. All right. How you doing?
I was gonna say you could have that.
Liv versus Tiff. I think Tiff's going to fight Belair.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
And they felt like Chamber kind of set that up. But yeah, we're getting Shinsuke and Sami Zayn up next, folks. And if you are new here, we take a rating out of 10 for every show, and we take a prediction for every single match. And congratulations to Smile Mark, who became the predictions champion on Saturday on a tiebreaker technicality. Yeah, it's arbitrary, folks.
Flip the coin.
He kind of. But we will put the title on the line for AEW Revolution, and I guarantee it will be more than 4 matches. Thank you, Tony Khan.
Yeah, seriously.
Get out your pens and paper.
It's gonna be like Anthony out there trying to figure out, the Continental Classic. Just I'm bad at maths.
Did you see the? Because of course now the Logan Paul with his Sharpies going around everywhere, and one of them was him doing Steiner math.
No, I have not seen that one. I have seen, and now it's almost you're trying to decipher which one he actually did. But from what I saw was he did the devil horns, then he did Kevin sucks, and then he does the, kind of snowman-y drawing of Kevin Owens. And I like that there's a hard cut to him Kevin just smashing his head into that exact spot on the chamber pod.
Man, did I love that spot. Like, I mean, I know there's some mixed feelings about KO, and maybe I'm being a little defensive here. But man, the guy's so good. Like, I mean, he's just all fucking balls. Like, he just doesn't fuck around. He's all just like, let's go.
I like more the memes going around about KO of just literally just smashing his head against the pod. He's sitting there helping punch, Logan in the face and everything through the pod.
Yeah.
Man was really about that action.
Again, and that's good. They're not just hanging around. They all had personality. I like the fact that RKO stood on, Bobby's pod. And I felt like the entrances were definitely long, but there was a little bit of flair, a little bit of energy behind all of it. Yeah, Liv isn't 29. Thank you. She's 420.
Not gonna lie, you had him in the first half.
You had me in the first half. Shinsuke for the win. Sami for the win. Shinsuke, as we are in commercial break right now, ladies and gentlemen. Safik, good to see ya. Nakamura for the win. I'm surprised how many people are taking Naka.
Naka. Well, do you feel that this is kind of just a placeholder feud a little bit?
Yes.
Like, what's the end game here with this kind of Cody, Drew, Sami, Nakamura 4-way dance we're doing here a little?
Yeah, like I keep saying, like I feel like they're up to something with Sami now, whether it's a babyface push or a bit of a heel twist, I don't know yet, but they feel like there is something there. They're putting him in situations where either he loses with reason and it's building up to this big comeback story for Sami. Like, yo, Adrian, we did it. Or it's, him just snapping and going kind of back to angry, heelish Sami who's tired of taking shit.
You just turned a light bulb on in my head there. Pause. Because there's been the rumor and the speculation that they might get Rocky Balboa, Sly Stallone there. Once you said, hey, Adrian, what if we get Sami instead of going after Drew, he goes after Gunther. We get Sami versus.
We were gonna say Sly. I was like, I don't know, man.
No, we have Sly training him. We get the dun, 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 dun. We get the montage. We go back to kind of funny Sami, and he's kind of halfway serious though because he's training his ass off to go after the guy that's the Ivan Drago of the mid card in WWE.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think at the end of the day. I mean, I want WrestleMania to open with that, like really break it down in the opening video package, work into the fucking like, let's go, man.
Or do you do Eye of the Tiger? Eye of the Tiger or
come on now. Come on. Yeah,
now do they front the bill for Eye of the Tiger? Tony would.
I think Trips would if they'd let him, right?
No, he'd have like Nita Strauss or somebody come out and do like a metal version. It'd be, can we get a CGI or a hologram Lemmy come out there and do Motorhead of doing Eye of the Tiger?
Metal of the Tiger. Let's go.
Right.
Look at this. They are bragging about the sold out Friday show. Greatness is coming to Glendale. And I listen, when you're talking about a company trying to promote itself, this whole the greatness is coming, it's fucking genius. It's working. It is a marketing gem. Oh,
absolutely. Capone W. Tiffany Time versus Stratisfaction. Ooh, that's not a bad shout.
I'd be in.
You'd be arguing the whole match. Literally, you would be a house divided. Fully, you would be fully Trish, and it would be fully Tiffany. There would be no peace. It'd be North versus South here.
Right. Nia Jax is pissed. See, no way. Becky should be going to. So this might be just a side thing of like Becky's got to get rid of Nia, shake her loose, and avenge her loss. So they give her Becky either next week or the week after on the way to WrestleMania. Becky gets a huge win over Nia, and then conceivably, even more reason that she should be fighting Rhea.
Solidify it. You solidify something that's already been solidified.
I would rather that, but tonight we are getting Liv Morgan against Nia Jax. Run, Liv!
I backslid into that shit.
Run, Liv! Don't do it. She's eating chicken wings bigger than Liv Morgan.
What? You said it, not me. You can get in trouble, not me. John, what up? And again, John, what up?
Dwayne Johnson is lame. The Rock is awesome, though.
I think there's however many seats that they just sold out for their show in Scottsdale that would disagree with you, because that's the thing is, name another wrestling promotion right now that can sit there and flex. So we just sold out shows the week at like days ahead, and hey, guess what? We'll probably sell out next Friday too before even the end of this week. Yeah, and then we'll sell it the one after that. Like that's a flex,
and they're fully aware of it, and they've leaned into it. Like there's a couple exceptions, but it's not like it's Punk. It's sometimes with Cody of like Punk will be here this date, and that's what they're doing with The Rock. The Rock will be there then. And you will see an uptick. They're going to sell out all three of those shows on the way to WrestleMania. And The Rock's going to be there. Hopefully that means Roman's going to be there. And there's a lot of intrigue. There really is a lot of intrigue.
Absolutely. Well, there's apparently a lot of intrigue in the chat here. So I will remind everybody again, we do have the super chats, the super stickers and everything. But Nick Bray, what up? Marvin, what up? EQ, what up? Yeet, what up? Ronan, everybody. We got Unbroken. God damn, we got so many names here. For Don Morocco, what?
Shout out Don Morocco, the name we haven't heard in a long time. There you go. Are y'all bringing back the Wyatt family? Are we bringing them back? I don't think we are. I mean, is it the beard?
We're just missing Rowan and Bo, and we're good.
There we go. Any volunteers to be Rowan and Bo? Let us know.
We're the Canadian Wyatt, though, because you got the KO look going on.
The Canadian swamp. It's more like a marsh, but it's okay. As ding, 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 we've got Sami and Nakamura, who's an 87, taking on an 84 here, if anybody was wondering.
It's like the fucking Madden ratings here. But no, you said marsh, and I just started to go, because I'm just Marshall Mathers.
Nia Jax versus Bray Wyatt. Ruthless. Thank you for that wonderful question. Awesome channel. Thank you. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, I like the angry dad drawing.
Yeah, shout the angry dad drawing. Nope.
The deep cut on the Simpsons reference.
I like it. But yeah, if you haven't made a prediction on this match, let us know what you're thinking. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to see what happens here. As Sami has shown off more of this lately, a backflip off the
well, almost half a backflip.
KJ, please, y'all have to see the greatness and beauty in my boo Nia. She really her I don't know. Some of
Why
that.
you read like please and everything? I know that's how he wrote it, but yeah.
I just reading what's on the screen, my guy.
I'm Ron Burgundy. But yeah, no, I respect Tanaya. Woman's thicker than the Snickers. How you doing? But in ring right now, storyline, creative wise, you can miss me with that a little. I get she's there. She's still, like I said, I've unfortunately named, speaking of meaty madness, I've named the Raw Women's Division, the Haas division. So very much she fits right in there, like you said, with a Raquel, with a Shayna, with a Zoe. So there's plenty of other people she can have a feud with right now.
Yeah, and you know what? I give Nia Jax all the flowers, all the credit in the world that since she's returned, she's been exactly what she's supposed to be. She's not supposed to go, 10 to 12 minutes with every little wrestler on the roster just because people think they're cute. She is a destroyer, and that is exactly what she has been since returning. She has decimated the women's division, and she's building it up. Like Rhea Ripley beat her. But can she beat her the next time Nia wants to take a run at her? Is there anyone else in the division that can now get over that mountain, figuratively, to get to the title?
I'd like to try them nails.
Right? Canadian boy Sami. KJ and Nick, I acknowledge you guys. Kyle, we appreciate the acknowledgement.
Absolutely. And so be a friend, tell a friend, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, ring that bell like Jimmy did. What?
The chat is funny. The Good Brothers return. Yeah, so tomorrow night, folks, if you are new here, we will be back tomorrow to do this for NXT. The Good Brothers are going to take on Blade and Enofe, social gathering, as we like to refer to them. That should be interesting. Not really on paper, all right, that's great, but I'm happy the OC is doing something tomorrow.
It's very much one of those of, well, at least they're doing something with them, and we've seen that, kind of revive Baron Corbin. Obviously, he's out there with the Wolf Dogs, all of that. Christ, speaking of Becky, let's not forget that she had her run through NXT, and she was out there having feuds with Tiffany Stratton, with Roxanne Perez, etc. She was in the thick of it. She went down there and was NXT champion at one point.
Yeah. I mean, and they've done that again. It's a nice way. I think they were about to do it with Shotzi until she got injured. Becky had a nice little run, and it's good name value, but it also helps when you bring in veterans to kind of like Idris and Enofe have been around for a hot minute and haven't really found a groove, a holding. So maybe a little battle with a couple veterans help them. Or maybe there's more at play here. Maybe Tama Tonga's on his way in, and he needs some friends.
The three faces there, the three faces,
right?
The cryptic messages here.
And
as again, we get this like walkway, entranceway shot up to the ring, which has gotten a lot of praise. And again, when's the last time you ever heard somebody say, man, I wish Kevin Dunn was producing this shit?
Yeah, I saw someone on Saturday say like the Elimination Chamber wasn't shot well. I was like, what the fuck? But hey, if you write it
have large beaverish teeth.
Yeah, it was his comment.
Did he look like Igor?
Facts, John. Most times. I've been caught many times. If you catch me reading away, I will read shit.
Sound like the adverse. Even if you write it down, I won't read it.
I just fucking. Oh wait!
I've called people Rapunzel and everything like that when that's clearly not their name, just because I can't finish. I start with the first couple letters and then end on the last couple and just make it up in between.
Oh, Sami hung up on the top ropes, couple knees from Shinsuke, looking for the pin.
But I did see Bama Beard, by the way, bring up. I like this version of Nakamura, and absolutely,
yes,
I like this version of Nakamura. It's weird that he's just kind of like the placeholder now, a little bit of like Sami. We feel like they're going to do more with him than they are with Nakamura right now. Like we're not calling Nakamura to go and feud with Seth or Drew or anything like that. We think Sami's going to be the one to do that.
Oh, big clothesline! Oh, Ole chance here at Raw tonight.
The man just popped over him, like literally just getting leapfrogged him backwards there.
Yeah, I feel like in the last couple of weeks here, like he's doing almost like that Malachi Black spot where, and I know people are going to be like, you did it first on the Indies, KJ. I'm just trying to reference it for people, but
you put some respect on El Generico's name.
Yeah, right. Oh, he's down. We got a 2.
Two go.
But we just saw the backflip off the guardrail. I think he's trying to kind of go back to those El Generico days where he's a little more high flying, a little more athletic, and kind of remind people that, I got a lot of tricks in my bag.
Right? Absolutely.
Sami getting propped up to the top turnbuckle.
Nope. That's not what I wanted to do. You're going there. And, you know what? Just for sakes, you're going there too.
Probably the same person.
Yeah.
Bacon, you get to stay.
You're good in our book.
We like you.
Right. Sometimes, we got to dish out some yellow cards and everything like that, Like I said, we don't block anybody, but if you want to just be an idiot, you will get put in the penalty box.
Yeah. Boredom is a wonderful thing, people.
No, it's amazing how distance really separates from what people actually say and what they do say.
Everyone talks about Cody and The Rock. As we go back to another commercial break, second one of the match. So, I mean, sometimes it gets in the way of enjoying the match, but we're back in a commercial, folks. Rolling along, Shinsuke in control of Sami. Everyone talking about Cody and The Rock and Rock, but don't forget, Priest still has to cash in the Money in the Bank case. This has been highly debated, highly talked about, highly uncertain what is happening with this case and where it goes from here.
I think it's going to be a failure.
I'm thinking they lose the World Tag Team titles at Mania to Awesome Truth. That is the final kind of nail in the Judgment Day of, all right, now we lost our gold. Now we can start arguing with each other and really let some of the festering issues bubble over. And then maybe, just maybe, that's where we see Drew sometime between Mania and Money in the Bank in Toronto. Shout out, Cheap Pop. But yeah, sometime between there that he at least officially attempts it.
It is still interesting, and I guess we talked about it earlier of like feeling there's like a timeline with stuff. I forget that it can still go till literally day of that next pay-per-view before the match or whatever.
Right.
Because it feels like it's almost like a WrestleMania cutoff here, because right now, if we were going with that, he's not making that at all. He's not cashing, and if he does, it's definitely not successful.
Yeah,
but
I'd be shocked.
Post-Mania could happen.
Post-Mania could happen. And I think we're so conditioned with the old days of again, it's been a long time since someone's held the Money in the Bank this long. And I don't, is there any way you see either Seth retaining or Drew retaining and Damien cashing in on one of them? I don't think The Rock and Cody wins and gets fucking pasted by Priest. I don't think that's even possible. But do you see there's any chance that he tries to cash in on one of the Raw champions at Mania?
No, I think now, like you said, you've got to do it post-Mania. You've got to do it post-breakup. And then if anything, you could have it to where you make him a baby face.
Yeah.
And you've got Miz and Truth by his side. If we get the Judgment Day implosion, I think you actually said it a while ago, if Damien could be the one that comes the baby face out of that whole, implosion.
I think he could be. Really could, because people generally don't like. I mean, I think Finn's more booable than Damien on the surface. Damien can play heel, but I think Finn struggles as a babyface at times.
Yeah, I'll give you that. And especially does Finn feel a little bit more in the background now than a prominent player? Like, which right now is more believable, regardless of the briefcase, of Damien in a title shot or Finn in a title shot?
My money would be on Damien at this point in time. for sure.
As we're back from action, or back to action, as step up roll, spinning heel kick there from Nakamura.
What's good, TJ? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
Ooh, Blue Thunder Bomb. 1, 2, two count. No one wins with the Blue Thunder Bomb.
No. It's a nice setup for a pin move.
Right.
Now, with Seth's nagging knee, I guess Priest is already, we're assuming Priest will be in a tag team match at Mania, so maybe not, but I was wondering if he could get involved and try and make it a triple threat to kind of compensate.
If he does a triple threat, then he loses.
Very possible.
Big knee from Nakamura. But yeah,
that wasn't. The ref's hand had to make a dog leg at that man real quick. Whoosh.
Yeah.
Sami pretty much kicked out at 2.99999.
He had to pull up to keep that pinky from skimming the mat there to count that 3.
Sami rolling out.
Trevor, what up?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying hi.
Bring back Bad Bunny with Dame. He'll be face quick. That's true. That's true. If they locked in together, people like to cheer for Bad Bunny.
Right.
The ship might have sailed, though.
As he says, sorry, boys, cable problems, been watching day after. What up, fam? Shout out, my guy. That's commitment of you watching us even the day after and everything, which you all should be doing, by the way.
Right? Keyshawn saying this is a banger. I've enjoyed this match, the opening match of the show, and we're off and running. Sami down. We got a ref with a count. I think we're up to 7.
Oh, don't tell me we're going to go to another commercial. I was worried we were about to go to another commercial.
Like, the ref said 7.
Like, there's a long shot on Sami here.
Oh, Sami was the ropes. It's not over yet, folks. Sami beats the count. Shinsuke jumps him.
Oh, foot on the rope to break up the pin attempt. Alex, what up? Larry, what up? The Blue Thunder Bomb, as Simon Miller calls it, the least devastating move in professional wrestling. Much like how we call the surprise roll-up the most devastating move in professional wrestling.
Blue Thunder Bomb, 0 wins. Roll-ups, 3,400. Undefeated. Nakamura setting up the Kinshasa. Nope. Sami dodging. Oh! Blue Thunder Bomb with his back turn. No, I mean, Haluva kick with his back turned.
The Haluva kick to the back of the head right there. I just got
there. Haluva.
Right.
Sami feeling oozy. Crowd going crazy. Anybody who questions Sami's popularity, it's clearly still there.
That's why he's got to take on Ivan Drago. He's got to train out there with Rocky Balboa.
Tree.
Deux, trois.
There you go. I'm the one that finds Bad Bunny silly and annoying. I don't much care for. I think Bad Bunny got overhyped because he did a fucking tope. Like, oh my god, but did a moonsault. Best wrestler ever.
I mean, you can't tell me though you didn't have a little goosebumps out there when he's coming out.
Oh, that was amazing.
Chambea.
No, that was one of the best moments of last year for sure. I know I joke, but it's like where people were like, "Is he the best celebrity crossover wrestler ever?" Like, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. That's why we're doing this.
He may be a douchebag, but that's when I would hold up Logan Paul and say, "Do you see this?"
But we are going to Pat McAfee. Big win for Sami Zayn, who's been struggling to find the W's, folks. So I'm not sure how you guys out there feel about it, but it's nice to see Sami get into the win column.
Well, JV saying another L for Nakamura. Roddy saying, I felt that kick. And then, who was it? Was mentioned. Trevor was mentioned about how it's the backwoods. That's what Woods called the surprise roll up there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's on one hand, yes, it's a great win for Sami. What are we doing still with Nakamura? Like, we built him
Right.
up, and he's just kind of been this big baddie villain. He was cutting all these really cool promos, and he calls out Cody Rhodes, and then just loses.
Right. Shinsuke hasn't won a match since COVID. I feel like that's not accurate. I feel like he recently won a match like last week. Did he not? Did he not?
Yeah, that's a bold
Sami?
statement. Bold statement.
I feel like he's at least won one. 1-0. Shinsuke as a good upper mid card heel is in a good position to be in. This is the best Shinsuke we've got, and he's doing his job. He wins some, he loses some, but his job is to make the baby faces look good, and I think he's done that extremely well. Did it well with Cody. He's done it with Sami. I'm perfectly content with Shinsuke right now, because not everybody can be at the top of that pyramid, Nick.
That is valid. That is a very valid statement. As we've got Invincible saying boring bookings, Sami beat a loser.
Would it have been better booking if there was thumbtacks and a few broken tables, or what? What would have made that better?
It was a hell of a match, and it's still like
a great match.
I know that Nakamura hasn't won a ton recently, but where we've still got to figure out, like you said, you can't slot everybody to be pushed and to be the top guy at the same time.
No, can't do it.
As by the way, we're getting a whole video package for the Street fight, which, hey, AW, maybe listen to Ice Chip instead of Ice Cube. And, if you do things like that, maybe you might have more people understanding what the fuck is going on.
Right. And here comes Chelsea Green. Do you know what I find the most intriguing thing about this, and one of my least favorite comments on any video, on any opinion that people have about wrestling is, oh, well, it's not like the other company. I'm so sick of hearing that from people. O'Shea Jr. is literally like an outsider, like a third party, just a fan. And he's saying, by my observations, one company is doing this and the other company isn't. And people are like, oh, what about all the, like, whoa. Listen to the opinion. He has no reason to pick one side over the other. He's saying, when I watch this show, I get this. When I watch this show, I get told to go fuck myself. Like, people have to understand that's not somebody on behalf of the WWE or because they have that opinion. Oh, he's a WWE mark. No, he's saying, I've been watching the WWE and I enjoy it. Trying to watch this product and you're making it a little tricky on me. And instantly, oh, but what about all the WWE stuff? Like, they don't troll, like they don't do this. Shut up.
Right. Well, by the way, I'm glad we're going to commercial. That's the first time I will probably ever say that, because you brought that up right as we got Chelsea Green coming out, which fantastic. Huge fan of Chelsea Green.
Yes.
And I like that we're now getting the little like vignettes or like the little images that send it off to a commercial about the person that we just had come out. But we're getting Chelsea Green versus Raquel Rodriguez, which, shout out to her, by the way, for performing through Elimination Chamber. Imagine being in a chamber where you have that condition flare up to where your skin is basically fighting against yourself. It's like Taker being out there, or Taker or Hunter, where they both were out there with like 30-degree burns and having go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, just to add to that, if we commented during the show, it was 75 plus degrees. That building, 52,000 strong. It's got to be hot. We talked about the wrestlers that were literally like, you could visibly see them sweating. And again, when you have a skin irritation or, when you're being affected that way, I could only imagine how awful and uncomfortable, like imagine wrestling with fucking poison oak. Like, it's not fun.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's right there of example with Taker, to where he's got, 3rd-degree burns and he's sitting there in the pod and he's dumping water on himself and everything.
Yeah, that was still one.
Just literally having to, and every bump. And I've never been with that. And so all the respect to her, but to sit there and go through all of that with that going on and still have a hell of a match, have it not, hinder anything. I hate to put it that way.
Yeah.
Kudos to her, but to your whole comment on
O'Shea
Jackson, if you want to pause, I'm going to go for a hot, quick second here. So,
go.
Absolutely. As KJ is going to take a pause for the cause here, but I will remind everybody, and this is exactly with this, of why we are what we are and why we do what we do and why we try and be, the channel that we try to be in. like I said, when we've said it and seen it even tonight, of how we won't, fully shun anybody out here unless you're just trying to be a troll or an idiot or anything like that. Then you can take a seat in the penalty box. But we are a welcome platform for open opinions and everything. If you really wanted AEW to grow to that next, level or whatever, and if it was in any wrestling company, you don't have to say it's specifically AEW. Christ, we'll take Anthony as an example. TNA. We're here every week covering TNA, and I know it's still it's a growing promotion now at this point, especially now they've switched to TNA. You might have lost some people with Scott D'Amore leaving and everything like that. So you're going to still want to include as many casual viewers and be able and be open to explaining of, so Anthony, what's going on here with, what led up to why we're having this match here? Why should I be invested here or anything like that? Versus you're an idiot, you're not a wrestling fan. This, hipster gatekeeper mentality is what keeps casual fans, and I will say casual, granted, I know Little Ice Cube Jr. there, Crushed Ice instead of Ice Cube, is, an avid wrestling fan. But think about it. He's got to be probably showing his dad it. We've seen it before with, Cardi B and all of that get involved in wrestling, and then the IWC, just the gatekeep community, just, I guess, the homeowners association of fucking pro wrestling on Twitter and everything, just literally can't leave well enough alone and not anticipate that everybody knows every goddamn pro wrestler all the time and knows every backstory and knows the entire lore of pro wrestling as it's ever existed here. That's the thing. By the way, we've got CM Punk here bringing it up. He mentioned it earlier, to where he cut a thing on Instagram and even tagged 2K and all of that for the WWE 2K24 about how CM Punk wasn't in the game, and we're going to put some feet to the fire here. And now he comes out and announces that for the season pass, you get CM Punk, as well as included a bunch of other wrestlers. I think the Dudley Boys were there. I saw that. But CM Punk is officially in WWE 2K24. As I got Chelsea cutting a promo, and I'll try and get back to some of this chat here. See money what. But yes, folks, let us know who you're taking as we're back from commercial. But Eric's taking Raquel. Are you interested in Trent Seven versus Steve Macklin Thursday? Absolutely. I'm interested in a lot of the stuff that's going on with TNA, and especially with it still a little bit because situations up in the air, etc. But allegedly they had a team meeting before the tapings out there in New Orleans, and things seem to be, a little bit more kumbaya than they appeared initially here. We have Ice Cube, Ice Jr., Ice T, Vanilla Ice, and Just Ice. Well, Vanilla Ice is coming under some heat because he bought Eddie's lowrider there. Ronan Santa's clobbering time. Yes, what up? Trevor, what up? Dale's taking Raquel for the win. Mike taking Raquel for the win. Juan reminding everybody, smash that damn like button. Absolutely. Be a friend. Tell a friend. Hit that thumbs up, as we're now officially finally back for like the third or fourth time today at 3.9. Like I said, let's see if we can make sure we clear that line well before we leave this room tonight. As Chelsea is saying, I'm going to prove that Raquel is a big loser by kicking her ass, and gets cut off by Raquel's music here. I've become a big fan of Chelsea Green here. She's really, you could still probably have her in a main feud and everything, like a main title feud. But I think that she's been perfect for the tag division. She's been one of those people that I think that even now you're seeing people want a mid-card division or a mid-card title for the women's division, because Christ, we had a whole petition before the We Want Cody's. We wanted, the We Want Chelsea Green getting introduced, by Samantha Irvine the proper way here. But I've got Raquel coming out. So again, if I missed your comment, by the way, I apologize as I was on a tirade. But we do have the super chats, the super stickers. Again, be a friend, tell a friend. We're here covering anything and everything pro wrestling all week long, all the way through Sunday, folks. But we've got Chelsea Green versus Raquel kicking off right now. And as much as I'm praising Chelsea, I feel like Raquel is going to probably get the win here. Miss Flex for the win. Baby got back. Oh, who was it out here? Mega saying, I'm sick of Chelsea. Why, sir? Why, sir? I do question. I think sometimes I feel people forget that people are supposed to be insufferable heels. I mean, she's kind of out here. As, by the way, in case anyone was wondering, Raquel's an 86, Chelsea's a 75. But so this is a little lopsided, but this is more like the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Cleveland Browns a little bit. But Chelsea very much gives me like, I guess, late 90s, early 2000s, never grew out of it vibes, and works as just this Karen-esque heel. But I'm glad Raquel's back. And again, I'm glad with everything and that she's still fighting through everything. Just is still as impressive as ever, is still just plants Chelsea Green for a 1, 2, 3, and quicker than a hiccup, Raquel picks up the win there. We want Bayley in AW. Well, I agree with half you. You got me in the first half there. We can talk about that once KJ gets back of the whole. And granted, we've still got time, but I do think Bayley needs a little bit more respect when it comes to the WrestleMania card, not the AW card. She ain't ever going there, but the WrestleMania card. Announce her. I mean, she did win the Rumble. Instead of having Bianca on the poster, put Bayley on the poster. That's really where people are kind of at. It's not. It's more of the simple things of just give her a little recognition. No one's asking that she's got to get 2 hours of pyro and main event both nights or anything. But when she won the Rumble and you don't have her on the poster and stuff like that, or the alleged poster. Now, granted, the WWE puts out 27 different graphics a day, so we don't know what's the true poster. But when Bayley's not prominent in the promotion and Bianca is, that's where people get a little saltier. As Sami's cutting a promo backstage right now. He could be a champion on any given night. That win reaffirmed everything I've been saying for weeks. Let's go, Sami. Yes, Raquel for the win. KJ reminding everybody again. Let's go. Hit that like and subscribe. Absolutely. As like I said, we have crossed the 3.9 threshold. I see about 58 likes on the video. As I see 82 people watching along with us. We've had 90 some odd plus. A, let's see if we can reach that triple digits. And B, let's see if we can reach them triple digits on that likes as well. So Gunther and Sami get the stare down. Like I said, dun 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 dun. Give me Sami out there in a gray hoodie, just climbing the steps with Balboa. Come on, Sami. That's where we could be going with this. We could be going Sami versus Gunther. Sami Zayn could be the one to end the 600 some odd plus day streak of Gunther here, as we're got all of Imperium walking out to the ring as we go to commercial break. So it looks like probably top of the hour, we're going to probably get the street fight. So really interesting that maybe Cody versus Waller's the main event if we get this as the top of the hour. But I will remind everybody we will be back in like a jackrabbit tomorrow for NXT. As I talked through us getting a whole commercial and video package for NXT as we're still setting up Ilya versus Carmella. We've still got the Trick storyline hanging out there, and we've still got Obafemi just being a menace. So absolutely make sure you're back with us tomorrow as we're here for NXT Wednesday Night Dynamite, Sting's last weekly television show appearance, and Will Ospreay makes his official AEW debut. Thursday we've got TNA Impact. Friday, we've got The Rock showing up in what's already a sold-out SmackDown out there in Scottsdale, Arizona. Saturday, we've got Collision in House of Glory. Sunday, we've got Revolution. So 100% nobody covers pro wrestling. Nobody covers more live pro wrestling than we do. As I am in a commercial break again. Where's Curtis out here with our commercial break over under here? We need to get DraftKings or FanDuel involved of just doing, over-unders on commercials for wrestling shows here. What about Uso? Jay's going to be fighting Jimmy at Mania. That's the story that's clearly getting set up here of, no matter what, I'll always be the older brother. Sami doesn't need the IC title. He need a world title.
Speaking of older brother.
Yeah, fuck you.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah, Sami Gunther. You kind of threw it out there, so we get the big stare down. So that's really interesting. I think Uso, I mean, it's still unwritten, but he seems to have issues with Jimmy. We'll see.
Right. Well, do you agree with Bonkers there of saying that the IC title is beneath Sami, that he needs more of a world title?
I don't think so. I think the IC title has been built up in such a way. It's like saying that Gunther is like, you could argue that Gunther is above the IC title, but it's not. You make the belt prestigious, and you can't have, everybody, Cody, Seth, everybody all at the top. You need those mid-card titles to be relevant and matter and be in the hands of people who are also relevant and matter. So to me, him being an IC champion, there's nothing wrong with it, and only validates him more if he does go after the world title eventually.
There was a time where the IC belt was almost in contention with the world title for relevancy. So let's not forget that here. But speaking of things we won't forget, as I take a pause here real quick. But
would you just click on?
No. Christian saying brother versus brother at WrestleMania, I'll take it, but I was clicking on Nick Bray saying, wow, Sting's last Dynamite. Man, it so depresses me knowing he's officially almost done. Well, I'll be done for a quick minute here.
There you go, folks. We are rolling along, coming back out of commercial break. Lots happening here on Raw, and it's a busy week, like we've said, and yes, it will be Sting's last Dynamite. A little bit sad. I'm curious what's going to happen on Dynamite. Will there be any flowers for Sting? Will there be a moment? How does this work out? And how does it play into Ric Flair? How's it going to play into the Young Bucks and the match heading into Revolution? We are 6 days away from saying goodbye to the icon Sting. Dun, dun, dun. As we are going back to Elimination Chamber right now, we're getting a rundown of all the publications that covered it. Sami had 3 reigns with the IC belt. He needs to stay in the main event. Him fighting Gunther, though, doesn't seem like a bad thing for me. And again, it doesn't bother me if he becomes a 4-time IC champion. I don't see it. If he's not fighting that, if you're currently doing Drew versus Seth, Sami's got to wait to get into that picture. Maybe he fights Gunther and loses and has to find another way around it all. But you got to keep him active. You got to keep him doing things of relevance. And he's still over as hell. So I'm okay with a Sami Gunther match. I think it'll be a really good one. It's one of those matches that could potentially steal the show at Mania. Roman first boss, second versus Gunther second boss. Hey, maybe one day. Gunther is a guy that once he relinquishes that IC title, does he go after the main event picture? Is he going after one of the world champions? What does that look like? As we are back with Cody Rhodes. Cody talking about being slapped across the face and challenging The Rock. Oh, he's saying he's looking forward to getting an answer on SmackDown. Great Scott, not just average Scott, great Scott. Sami's chest will be redder than his hair, 100%. And again, Sami still feels like a bit of an underdog going against the guy of the stature of Gunther. And don't get me wrong, I love Sami. I think Sami would be perfect to take the World Heavyweight Championship and run with it and put on good matches. But again, not everybody can be at the top of the pyramid. So if he's doing something relevant with a guy like Gunther, I'm okay with it. Man, I really don't want Gunther to ever lose his title. I get it, John, but eventually he does have to take a loss. And I mean, he could just drop the title, but I'd rather him, take an L, pass it on to somebody else, and then he can focus. Gunther going after somebody that, one of the champions, whoever it may be, Gunther's due. And here comes Gunther. Gunther. I wonder if Jay versus Jimmy opens night 2. Could, 100%. And again, we said it for a long time. The battle of the brothers in the city of brotherly love, it just had a ring to it. Didn't know how we were going to get there. I actually thought Jimmy might beat Gunther. But as you see, Jimmy got involved. Now Jay's going to be pissed at Jimmy. Will Jay be at SmackDown on Friday? You never know. You never know. 2 things. Zoe and Shayna versus J-Pop for the titles at WrestleMania. Possibly. I like the idea. They're doing pretty well. The only problem with that is Zoe and Shayna, very heel. J-Pop right now being very heel. So, yeah. But I'm all for Zoe and Shayna getting some love. Since we were celebrating Sting's favorite Sting, my favorite moment from Sting was the Great American Bash 1990 when he won the WCW World Heavyweight Championship against Ric Flair. Yeah, great moment. Sting's had a lot. I mean, this is a guy that went about a year without speaking and still was over his shit. I mean, we got to give Sting credit. Even Sting's time in TNA wasn't bad at all. But yeah, be here with us Wednesday as we say one last Dynamite for Sting. I say Sami or Chad Gable comes out to Gunther. I've kind of gotten over Chad Gable. I really have. I mean, again, Shorty G, no offense, but he had his chance. He had his 3 tries. I don't know. And again, they're Alpha Academy is so playfully and gimmicky. I don't really want Chad to be the guy with the belt. Cody's reading from a teleprompter. Maybe. Gunther's a sub boss. There you go. Ric Flair has to turn on Sting during the Bucks match, right? It feels like that's what's coming. It does. And I know we talked earlier about predictable wrestling, but this whole storyline with the Bucks and Sting has been predictable as we've gone along. Once they came back and they were gunning for Sting, everything's kind of been predictable, including Sting and Darby getting the tag titles. Now you got the Young Bucks in random tag matches just to build up their record. Yeah, I mean, the writing seems to be on the wall. Cody versus Waller, the main event. What the fuck? Hey, good for Waller. I mean, Cody's the biggest babyface in the company, makes it main event status, and I don't think it's a problem. And I don't really think there's anything booked right now that I would say put that in the main event instead. But Gunther right now bragging about his accolades, saying he actually felt the title slipping away a little. Sheamus already wrestled Gunther at Mania. It was in a 3-way Keyshawn. That would be a big surprise, a big pop, a big moment. Roddy, points for this one. Sami will be the ring ginger ale. I would say let Sami win the world title, Summer of Sami, and then Gunther take it off him at Bash in Berlin. Not a bad take. Not a bad take. I think you could have, depending, Seth's saying he's medically cleared, but if Seth isn't taking time off, it'll be very interesting. But if Drew becomes the champion, you are going to have to feed him some baby faces. Gunther versus Braun Breaker. Well, he did sign with SmackDown, so it's more likely that Braun Breaker would go after the U.S. title, and that seems pretty busy right now as well. The It's not a bad problem to have, but right now the WWE has a plethora of talent that could be in any spot. Jay was supposed to beat Gunther. I don't know how much I believe that. If he was really supposed to beat Gunther, why would they have Jimmy there? They were already ready to set up that angle. It's like, what did they just 2 hours before the show think? Jay versus Jimmy would be better. I don't buy it. So don't believe everything you read, Mega. I've seen that report going around. I do not believe it. I believe the WWE has a plan. I believe they're going into their shows with a plan. And other than injury that's causing them to pivot, but here comes the Judgment Day. Interesting. Judgment Day? Who saw that coming? I feel you on Chad, but Sami beating Gunther and ending his reign doesn't help Sami. It would make a star out of Gable. Yeah, but will it? Or will it just be a lackluster title win? Like he wins it, great, he did it, but then what? I don't know. But Sami to me, does it help him? No, but it does help solidify him, put him in a really nice spot when he is currently not in the title picture. Maybe Sheamus, maybe. But the Judgment Day are coming out to talk to Imperium. Surprisingly. Maybe, Mike. We hope not. We always show up to Wednesdays optimistic. Yeah, shockingly, for those just tuning in, the Judgment Day interrupt Gunther, and they are in the ring right now. I want Ilya to take the title from Gunther. I would love for Ilya to come up and get involved. I even suggested at one point that Ilya could join Imperium to set up the eventual, disagreement between Gunther and Ilya to lead to a match. I would tolerate the time that Ilya was with the Imperium to get there, but I think Ilya is busy. We're not even quite sure when Ilya is going to move up, and I think it would be post-Mania at this point. Like I said, right now the WWE has so many moving parts and so much talent. It's really hard. And again, it's not a bad problem to have. It's better than the opposite. But they got lots of names, lots of people. So Damian saying we want more gold at WrestleMania. The Honko meter has reached. Oh, what? Damian versus Gunther. Yeah, I'm a little surprised. Damian cashes in on Gunther. But two big men. I think this match would be interesting. Just don't get where it's coming from. Finn Balor or the one with the big head. Oh, JD McFunko Pop. Poor guy. Maybe it's Damian. Or sorry, Dom. Braun versus Omos could be the first match of Mania. I hope not. I hope not. Congratulations on Reed and his wife having their first child. Yeah, huge. And he put out a big statement saying that I was supposed to be involved in Elimination Chamber. Things changed. And, the good news was I was home for the birth of my child. So congratulations to him. He's young. He's got lots of time. He will be back. He will get a push. What's up, AJ? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Dom versus Gunther doesn't work well for me. I don't care for it. He's still in Austria, not Australia. He got stuck in Austria. You might get something bigger than that. You could definitely get. I mean, if Gunther was in a world title match, Gunther just pushes Dom away, and Damian not happy about it. How dare you touch Dom? This is really unexpected. More gold? They only have a nickel. I'm trying to hear what the crowd's chanting. Anybody want to fill me in? Yeah, Damian is not main event ready. I disagree with that. I think he could be plenty fine. I think Damian's done a lot of good work, and I think he's been really well presented. He's a big man. I think he'd be perfectly fine, especially. And again, we're talking about the secondary title. So if he's going after Gunther, I think it could work for me. This is again, is this what you do because of everything being so packed into the main event scene? Does Damian Priest cash in the Money in the Bank on Gunther? Interesting. I don't know. 2024 is Dom's year. I hope not. Piped in boos. Based on what I can see in the audience, they might be enhanced, but they're not fully piped in. I can't speak. I'm not there. But from what I observe, people are on their feet booing their fucking brains out. But here comes Kofi. Here comes Xavier. Up next, the street fight between the New Day and Imperium. Yeah, of course he is. That's the perfect role for him. Works so well. So I do not want to see Dom versus Gunther. I don't think we're going to get that. I'm a little surprised that Damian's flirting with it, but I'm now wondering, we saw, before they kind of pivot and change direction. I don't know how I feel about the idea that potentially would Damian try and use the Money in the Bank on Gunther. Gunther loses his title but saves face because of the circumstance. I don't know. Dawn, again, another Sting moment, Halloween Havoc 1989, when he teamed up with Ric Flair to take on Terry Funk and Great Muta. Another classic one, Christian, I like it. But we are in another commercial break, folks. We are rolling along. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Make sure you're back here tomorrow for NXT and all week long as we head towards Revolution this weekend. Going to be a crazy show. Really curious to see what Tony has up his sleeve and what surprises and twists and turns are we going to get at AEW Revolution. As far as I'm concerned, based on the way 2024 has kind of come out of the gates with AEW, they need a really good pay-per-view. They really do. I think the company went very flat after World's End, but like World's End was one of the weaker pay-per-views we got in all of 2023, and it didn't bleed well into 2024. They really need a good Revolution. They say you want a revolution. Dom versus anyone doesn't do it for me. All Dom has going for him is that he is booed. He's not interesting and not good in the ring. He's also blows at selling. Dom has come a long way in his in-ring ability. I think there's more there than some people give him credit for. I agree. He's a lower mid-card heel. He gets booed a lot. The right opponent works if he's being schmarmy, but him going after a Gunther or anyone of that stature, I mean, it's the same thing what we talked about with, Daniel Garcia or Hook or, there's just certain guys that visually, optically, it just doesn't work well. Dom's okay being a schmarmy little backup guy that runs his mouth and avoids the drama. I think him and JD in a tag team works really well. But outside of that, him taking on one-on-one against somebody of the stature of Gunther, nah, he's going to get dusted. He touched his Dom. Don't never touch his Dom. Priest and Gunther would be great. Yeah, I'm in for it. Let him fight.
Don't touch Dom-Doms. Don't touch Dom-Doms. But could Gunther be the replacement for Brock Lesnar? Because the alleged, rumored, speculated we were going to get Brock Lesnar versus Dom at Elimination Chamber, and then, he got caught up.
I don't believe that Brock Lesnar was going to have a wrestling match with Dom Mysterio. I still struggle to believe that. I believe if they had pitched that to Brock, he would have laughed his ass off.
He just said, I'd go in a Saskatchewan. You can have that. I mean, what I'm mad at.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't see it. I can't imagine they were going to deliver that. But Damian versus Gunther, out of left field, dude. What are you thinking?
I kind of dig it. I hate it if it's, him cashing in. It reminds me of, who was it that cashed in for the NXT title? Or am I misremembering? To where somebody I thought cashed in the NXT title.
In theory, cash in for the US title?
Yeah, something like that. I remember somebody cash in for like not the world title, and it's like, hold up, wait a minute. That seems weird.
Okay. I'm so turned off by what WWE is doing for Mania. Shake my head. All right, let's run through it. We're getting Roman versus Cody. Everybody wanted that, and it felt like a pretty big deal. Becky versus Rhea. I'm good with that. Bailey versus Io is going to be awesome. What's the other one that we
Drew
already
versus Seth?
Drew versus Seth is going to be a banger. We're setting up the IC. We don't know yet. We don't know what the tag.
Jimmy versus Jay.
Jimmy versus Jay. Everyone seems pretty hyped. We got 40 days to go. Yeah, I don't know. What are we missing, John? What are you not feeling?
Yeah, I was going to say, well, as we're back with Judgment Day walking backstage, but you brought up the other company, and I was going to say, well, they just signed, Peppermint Patty, so we'll see how they turn it around. So
right, Rhea giving Dom shit. You're going to take on Gunther?
So see, they're talking about it.
Oh, Andrade. Now this might be a little more interesting.
Hey. I gotta go smooth some things out, but it's good seeing us. They instantly cut to we're talking Spanish.
Andrade says, I got a meeting with Pierce to see who my first opponent will be.
Watch it be Dom.
Right. Nick Bragg going the other way. Mania is going to be amazing. I don't know how it won't be. Punk might not be able to wrestle, but he's going to be there. Like I said, we don't even know what's happening with the lower cards yet. Jimmy versus Jay is going to be epic. I think there's a lot of things to love about what we're heading towards Mania with.
Well, and then he follows up with, respectfully, John, of saying, not talking about the already established matches. So you're going off of a narrative you've created. You don't know where they're going to be, so you're just assuming that it's going to be bad.
Right? Well, I mean, again, if we're okay with what's been established 40 days away, I mean, we have at least four major matches already locked in for, this far away, 40 days out. I think we're on the right path. As the street fight has begun, who you taking?
How do you feel that the New Day came out here? By the way, we're already throwing hands here that the New Day comes out in the San Jose Sharks jerseys, which, by the way, as a tarp, they are. I've always liked the San Jose logo. Their team's always been ass.
Yeah, when I was young, my goal, it was popular to get the whatever goalie. It didn't matter, but you get the shark mask with that look. My goalie had that right away. It was like. Sharks always did well with their logos and their jerseys for the most part.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm a sucker for the goalie masks and everything.
Francesca?
Yeah, Francesca, what now? 7, 8, 9?
Right. They do look funny with jeans and knee pads for the knee pad crew out there.
Yeah, where's MDB out here? If he state claim to the knee pad police here, he's, I guess, the commissioner. He's Commissioner Gordon of the fucking knee pad police here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course the New Day are in San Jose jerseys. I mean, they're the kings of the cheap pop, right?
Absolutely, it's very much like the Mick Foley, but I like how it's their custom jerseys too as well. So like they paid some good scratch for them,
right? Setting up a table and Imperium flying back with urgency.
Well, yeah, you don't need no Dudley boys going for the tables here.
Right. I think Dom versus Andrade, maybe, perhaps. I think that'd be very interesting. See what Andrade gets into.
But so who you got, sir, in this street fight?
I want to see Imperium.
Bams to breaks, huh?
Yeah, I want to see Imperium win this, but I have my doubts. Oh, tandem offense.
Oh, Creed almost pulled a little bit of a flop dollar there. He came up almost a day late and $1 short, more like a nickel at least.
Close.
Right. Yeah, I think it's got to be probably New Day, Team Babyface here. They've had the back and forth. Now, it's interesting how this hasn't, to me, as we're in commercial, hasn't so far had this big street fighty feel outside of just we're wearing hockey jerseys. We're not wearing our regular ring gear.
Right. That's it. It sets up trying to give you a feel. We're not in it. Well, I mean, even though their opponents are in ring gear. So what does that tell you?
Right. Roddy with, was that trombone rusty? He needs a tetanus shot.
Oh, funny guy.
Right. Well, John saying, I'm speaking of the overall build, more specifically this tag match with The Rock they're trying to build when Cody versus The Rock is a much better idea. The only people that have been building a narrative for a tag match is Twitter. Cody Rhodes literally came out on Elimination Chamber, and I agree with you with this, John, because I even was floating out the idea of I think it'd be a perfect fit, even if probably more when he loses to Roman, and then he still tries to get at the bloodline, and maybe even will have Rock versus Cody for a shot at Roman. But the singles match is way better. The tag match has been an online narrative.
Yeah, again, and until they do it, I have no opinion, really. I mean, we see so many presumed angles, and people kind of get pre-mad about stuff that hasn't happened yet or that never happens. Or and again, I think everything they're doing right now, including like we talked about it earlier, the Great One returns. They're building up their Friday show. It's sold out because of it. It's been everything from the press conference on has been outstanding. And then all the side stuff. I mean, again, I'm pretty content with everything they've kind of built. You might be turned off, but I mean, you got to give them something to do for 40 days. And Cody challenging The Rock. Maybe we get Rock versus Cody, not this week, but next week on SmackDown.
Absolutely. Well, that's the thing is, like you said, you're getting mad at something before you even know the outcome. You're preemptively getting upset about something that you don't even know if it's going to happen. It's like the Meltzer effect of everyone believes Wrestling Observer Network and just takes it as the holy gospel, and then fails to realize it's more lies than truth.
It's called dirt sheet diarrhea, folks. Avoid it at all costs.
Right.
Imperium.
Sorry, I was going to click on one out of off topic here of DB8 saying, "Who's your NHL MVP, fellas?"
Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews is carrying the Leafs on his back and burying more biscuits than a baker. Right, Nick?
I was going to say, he may not be the NHL MVP, but he's certainly my fantasy MVP. Man is carrying me to at least still being in contention here.
Right. Oh, we're back and they're in the crowd. But yeah, I mean, the guy, again, there's a good argument for what McDavid's done, but it's been more of a whole cast of crew over there.
Beer can to the face on Eichner.
Right. I mean, there's a couple other candidates, but the greedy Leaf fan in my heart, Austin Matthews being at like 53, 54 goals, back-to-back hat tricks last week. Come on now.
Yeah, man is literally, like you said, he is the Toronto Maple Leafs. You can, I mean, Sid's had a good year. Like you said, McDavid's had a phenomenal year. Edmonton's on fire, but it's almost when you're on a team like that, if the whole team's great, you don't exactly stand out as much as Austin does of 50 goals plus then and some. Like
fastest American-born player to get to 50 goals.
Now, say that again as he plays for a Canadian team, American-born, America.
Who knew one of the best players in the world were going to come out of Arizona?
Well, see, it comes around. Austin Matthews is going to be in the corner for Cody Rhodes when we're in Scottsdale as he takes on The Rock.
Let's go.
What comes around is all around.
But we got the men back into the ring. Woods being held, and we got a chair spot coming in. Oh,
right,
America.
Oh, chair to the ribs here.
Right. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, even when the Leafs play like shit, Austin Matthews somehow gets like 2 goals. I mean, I give Marner a lot of credit for what happens there, but I mean, Matthews is just an elite level scorer.
America. Well, then Christian out here, my NHL MVP is Rangers goalie Igor Shesterkin. I feel like the Swedish chef. Hergen.
He's had a good year. MVP is a bit of a stretch for me. He might be in contention for the Vez.
Really? Oh, double drop kick to Xavier Woods, Austin Creed in the corner there onto the chair.
It's a threesome Woods didn't enjoy being in.
Pause. well, now, yeah. Her brother is signed. Talk about nepotism.
We talked about that the other day, and he is a big creepy bastard. Oh, Golf back in.
Russian leg sweep.
Dropping Ludwig onto Kaiser. Oh, here he goes. Oh, wait, Ludwig, get out of the way.
Oh.
Trying to set up SOS. What is happening here? Kaiser with the hug.
I got the hug now. I'm like a half a second behind you. Oh, I got punched from Kofi on the outside here.
As he goes back to the table and the crowd goes wild.
Well, notice they've lost the San Jose jerseys now here.
Well, yeah, jerseys can come off in a fight, even though in hockey you got to tie them down.
Is that a rule?
Yeah, they're gonna be there. There's a strap, like you have an official jersey if it has a strap, a fighting strap. If it became a thing because Rob Ray, actually, former Buffalo Sabre, rip his shirt off and nobody could grab him. They were like, "This isn't fair."
Let's go.
The Rob Ray rule.
But double suplex from Imperium, and now Eichner just taking it to Woods. But yeah, no, there's a reason my fantasy team's the Danbury Trashers out there just getting willing to fight, motherfucker.
You get a misconduct if your fucking fight strap comes undone. If you get jersey.
I thought you were about to say it was a technique to where you just pull it over and then now just lights out and just start wailing. Well, and speaking of wailing, we got wailing with kendo sticks.
Swinging. Swinging. What is Kaiser doing? Oh! Smoke by the knee. Actually, James got a good point. A guy near and dear to my team is Nathan's had a phenomenal year. And I think he's got a strong crew with him. Oh!
That crossbody was mean.
And Vinci just wearing him out. Oh, wait. Ludwig getting in there. Oh, on the knee.
This is really, though, like right there was Eichner just kind of really just remember who the I am.
Right. Resident Evil saying happy birthday to Ric Flair. 75 this week.
Hey.
Definitely still styling, profiling.
Yeah.
Ric Flair's been 70 for 30, 75 for 30.
Exactly.
As we go back into another commercial break. How do you have two commercial breaks in one street fight?
And that one wasn't even like really cut to anything. You literally just had them walking away from the hard cam. And it's like, and commercial.
This is brutal. Now, you mean like brutal, like this match is bad, or this has been brutal physically? Curious one.
Well, I mean, it's interesting to really think about it. Of Imperium's really had the whole top of the first half hour here right now. You had Gunther involved in the top of the hour segment, and that carried right into the tag match here. So Imperium's very much a integral part right now of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, absolutely, as they should be. I'm okay with this. And I mean, like I said, I've been very critical of the New Day. I feel like they've just worn out their welcome with me. But this rivalry with Imperium has been better.
Yeah. As Larry out here, Ozzy turned 75 yesterday. What?
Sharon!
Fuck. Correction, 85 years old. Not really, but he looks that part. He looks worse than that.
There's a guy that's looked 85 for 30 years.
That's a guy that seems like he's reliable for an energy drink.
What's up, Eric? How you doing? Now, again, I mean, we're on commercial break. Inserting Ric Flair into the Young Bucks Sting storyline is going to be very curious coming up this weekend and how that plays out.
Birds of a douche flock together. It'll be only apropos that Ric Flair once again, T's and P's to Ole Anderson, his family, his immediate family, the Anderson family, everyone connected to the Four Horsemen, Jesus, and everything. But it's only apropos that it's very much a Four Horsemen style move here. If we're going to have Ric Flair turn on Sting again, I just hate more of the fact that it's like, no one's paying attention to me, so you guys will like me, right? And that's why he's turning. Not like, screw you, you had a longer career than me or whatever, you outdid it more than me or whatever the fuck. Come up with some reason outside of just, no one's paying attention to me. You'll pay attention to me, right?
Well, and again, I think the idea is like if that happens, you use it to kind of carry into something new. But what were you like? So what is Ric Flair going to be a mainstay with the Bucks? Is he going to hang around with the Bucks for the next little while? Maybe, but I mean, you got to do something. If it's just a one-off of like, yeah, I got brought back and I was so excited to be with Sting, but now I'm not sure about it and fuck him. Wait, what?
These guys are the EVPs. They're the ones that sign the checks for the wooings and the woo energy and everything. But no, if you have Ric Flair stay around with the Young Bucks, you were worried about go away heat before. Now you're going to solidify go away heat.
Yeah. As we are back to the street fight.
Oh, Woods into the barricade.
Kofi's got the chair. Kofi has murdered several people.
Oh, gee, at least he didn't do wheels out. At least he didn't do wheels out. So Kofi out here just throwing around office furniture. Like,
wasn't it Ludwig that took the wheels out one day?
No, wait, what?
I think it was Kofi that hit Kaiser a couple months ago, and Kaiser caught the wheels.
Oh, yeah, and it really f***ed them up. That's why he didn't go wheels out, because I just remember Braun when it was Braun, Joe, Roman, and Brock in the Fatal 4-Way, and I think it was either Braun or Joe just get yeeted it off his chair.
Oh, as they're laying waste to Ludwig now, kendo sticks for both.
Lumberjacks out here chopping wood. Right?
Yeah, kendo sticks are exploding.
You remember when they were called a Singapore cane?
Yes, I do. I also remember how it got inspired, and I remember the Weird Al knockoff song to making fun of it. I be 51 next week. Congratulations, Eric Tate. Be thrilled if I hit that goal.
Well, and then somebody was saying how Keith Richards would be 150.
Yes, I saw that. Made me laugh.
But we got speaking of knocking off, we got Kofi get the table spot now. All we're missing is the plastic, taped in the middle glasses here, and we got the new Dudley boys.
3D coming. Oh, they're working them. They're working them. Xavier going up.
Elbow drop to the table.
There he goes. Explosion.
Oh, you remember when Xavier had his whole little King of the Ring run and everything, and Xavier got really kind of over as a solo act and fought Roman?
I always said that Xavier could have turned heel at some point and really tried to take a run at it.
As we're getting holy chance as Eichner's even busted open on his back here.
Oh, Kaiser with the save.
Wow. Pulls out the referee. This is, again, hell of a match. WWE tag team wrestling right now has outkicked their coverage lately, has outperformed what they're booking.
Yeah. This is a fun match in the middle of the show. This is what you do.
But it brings up the question I know it was brought up while I was on my pause for the cause thereof. Waller versus Cody, that's your main event. Yeah. Does it fit being added last minute versus this has been your story?
Yeah, I'm fine with it because, I mean, again, it's who's involved for me. So your main event guy, your main event babyface, going to be in a main event spot. He elevates Waller a little bit.
And you do have the Waller connection to the bloodline, to where
oh,
oh, Kofi goes through the table again. He who sets it up must go through it.
oh, the New Day about to take an L.
Oh
my God.
Pop up. Oh, geez. A Rose such a clatter. Was Woods hitting that chair in the fucking post there?
Emphatically. And Imperium with the win. I will take the point on that one.
You can have that. God damn. That's an exclamation point on an exclamation point if I've ever seen one.
That was an entertaining match. Let's go.
Again, like we were just saying, of WWE's tag team wrestling right now has very much outperformed its booking and its expectation. And that's a hell of a match to throw in the middle of your card. But I do, like you said, see, you've got Cody Rhodes, Grayson Waller. Waller has the connection to the bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
You're still pitching WrestleMania here.
Absolutely. And again, we don't know, that match could be a setup for something. Usually, yeah, I got no problem with Cody being in the main event.
It's so funny because I feel like if they had him top of the hour, people would be complaining, why'd you have him in mid-card?
Yeah, you can't win. As we're getting a package for Waller. So again, you're not just throwing Waller in there with Cody. You're giving us a package to say, this is who this guy is, just in case you don't know. This is why you should care about him. He's going to fight the company's biggest babyface in about an hour.
And I think they're building up Waller here. So when Rainey gets his probably kind of last title reign there, he, has the U.S. title reign after he beats Logan. Like you said before, with once Drew beats Seth, he's got some baby faces to go through. Rainey needs some heels to go through. Waller would be a fantastic guy.
Yeah, not bad. Devon, get the icy hot. Yeah, amen. Okay. Gable in a suit.
Raise your tie. Thank you.
Could we get a multiple man match for the IC title? Are we going to get like some type of build up, like some type of number one, like Andrade,
number one contender? Yeah. Not just as a competitor, as a father. Well, because remember, the last time he lost to Gunther was right in front of the children. I don't give a shit about your kids.
So, yeah, listen, the world title picture is congested. The IC title picture is congested. The US title picture is congested. Dude, this is not a bad problem for the WWE to have right now.
Yeah, it's like, again, it's like another company or two, except they know how to book when they have a lot of talent instead of, just, we'll keep using the same 7 guys.
Yeah, I do see them trying to at least, and again, like, Gable doesn't just show up and start yelling at Gunther. They have a story to it.
As Michael Cole even tweeting up, they're pulling up that of, obviously, Pat McAfee is kissing Gunther's behind after when he's out there doing the Uso, and it just stops midway through because Gunther's looking at him.
No, here comes Shayna Baszler.
Are you surprised that she's not more in the main title picture?
At times, I think previously, yes. But right now, no. There's just so many people, dude. So you got to give her something to do. Her and Zoe doing this is working. But yeah, there will be time. There will be her time to get back in there.
Well, I do like her and Zoe as a tag team. I think it's really, honestly, it's helped Zoe a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're getting Zoe and Shayna versus Indy and Candice after their recent excursion out there in Australia. But yeah, you do have to have still a women's tag division. Yeah. Do you think that they're at a point, and I know we've had this discussion with AEW and they've pulled the trigger on it, at least when it comes to Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Does WWE need a mid-card women's title?
They're closer than ever that they could justifiably do it. Like if Liv Morgan right now was a or a Naomi was a mid-card title that was able to float between both shows, I think it works really well. I don't know if you do like one on each show,
No.
but if you had one that kind of floated between both shows and you really had big matches between like a Liv, Naomi, Bianca, like look at all the people that are not involved in the title picture right now, right? Bailey and Io's got their thing going on. So there's this drop off of people that are all kind of, Shayna Baszler's a good example. Zoe getting in there would be interesting.
Well, and even then, think about it. We've got Becky and Rhea and Bailey and Io. So that would still theoretically right now leave out Nia, Charlotte, Bianca, Tiffany. You can go through a murderer's row right there of people who wouldn't be in that main title picture. So if you even just had that as your mid card, because that's how you even can build up, say, a Tiffany of your now main roster mid card title. Now, granted, it runs the gamut of too many titles, too many situations going on, too much.
Too many irrelevant titles is my issue. If you can justify it with, like, it's the same thing where people, like you and I have been very big advocates of split the tag titles. But I see what Trips is trying to do, and we just talked about it. He's trying to bring in tag teams and build up that division that justifies two separate titles. I think if you can justify the belt, I think if AEW was to minimize some of the belts they have and make those belts relevant, but the TBS belt is not relevant in AEW right now. The tag titles are not relevant right now. The trios titles aren't even relevant because they're fucking running around with a 6-man faction. Like, you have to make the belts you have relevant, and then all the sprinkling of all the other belts hurts the product. If you can justify it, like people that want like AEW women's tag belts, well, you better bring in some women and start having better matches to justify that belt and that angle. You don't use your men's tag teams. Why are you going to have a women's tag team belt?
Well, and it does get to a little bit to me of shout out Connor mentioned Jade Cargill doesn't have anything for Mania either. Absolutely.
Not that we know.
Kale Miller, I think we could just have one main title, one mid-card title, one tag for the women. I don't think they need two mains and a mid. I would rather see it of not having a title as a crutch when it comes to booking, of that becomes the star you orbit around is the title, versus actually writing stories that are good that don't need a title, because that's where you can really flesh out people's characters, talent, and your storylines, your creative. That's when you can flex your creative muscles, is when you don't have that star to rotate around.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I mean, we saw last year with Becky, and she got real busy away from the world title picture, spending time against Trish, and Belair's had to do it and find matches and angles to get into away from the title picture as of late. You need that. So again, if those titles become a way of like, oh, so-and-so might be getting over, but just give them the belt to put them over. Nah, I kind of want the stars to be ready for that moment and have them put that title over, them being the ones that carry the reputation of the belt.
Right. Well, speaking of putting people over here and everything like that, much like Ricky out here, as we even had, the fan seat upgrade mentioned on Monday Night Raw. So, folks, much like I said, much like Ricky here, if you want an upgrade from your regular wrestling watching and everything like that, then make sure you come over to the Wrestling for Life Network. Be a friend, tell a friend, where we cover anything and everything when it comes to pro wrestling, live and in full effect.
True. We cover more live wrestling than anyone else out there. When some people are going to bed or going to play video games, we're still here watching live wrestling all night long.
And not even Richie. Oh, I was just saying, not even just the WWEs, the AWs. We're here covering House of Glory, Wrestling Revolver, GCW, what. We got more credibility right now in them streets when it comes to talking pro wrestling than good old Uncle Dave, good old Tuna Meltzer there.
Tuna Meltzer. But here comes Indy and Candice. Indy having a nice moment, even though she took the loss to the Kabuki Warriors, but being able to perform in Australia in front of her home country crowd, I guess.
Captain Crush.
Yeah,
what the fucking Crush. You and only like 3 other people got that K. Trevor Wilson joke right there.
Amazing. Subscribe. There you go. There you go. Ricky with the love. We appreciate it, my guy.
Right. But yeah, well, and it's interesting that, like you talked about it earlier about how Bronson Reed had to miss Elimination Chamber. He put it out there of, oh, I'm sorry I couldn't show up for, my home, country fans and everything. And I even was trying to pull him to get him on the card, but it's like, do you throw him in the chamber? Turns out, no, he was home having the birth of his first child there and was scheduled initially, allegedly, to take on Seth Rollins if Seth Rollins wasn't, one foot in the glue factory here.
Yeah, I found that interesting that it was that thing that came out of the original plan, which again, I'm always skeptical of these reports. But yeah, Bronson Reed would have taken on Seth in Australia if Seth was 100%.
Who would have been the baby face?
Yeah, a little backwards, right? A little interesting.
A little bit. Well, it's like Australia. The toilets do flush backwards.
Right. There we go. MDB agreeing.
Absolutely. Again, man's out here just coming up with all the catchphrases, the slogans here.
Right now, folks, are you taking Indy and Candice? Or are you taking Shayna and Zoe? I'm definitely taking Shayna and Zoe. Yeah. I don't much care about Candice and Indy.
No, it's like the Chicago Bulls versus the Utah Jazz out here right now. Well, more like the Utah Pixies or something here, but yeah.
Washington Wizards.
It's Harlem Globetrotters versus the Washington Generals.
Zoe and Shayna for the win. Shay and Zoe.
Shazoe. Is that their name now? Shazam?
Shapoopy.
Shapoopy. The team who's hard to get. The team who's hard to book. Oh, impressive ass suplex there from Zoe on Candice. Just tossed that woman.
Triple H only pushes people that he thinks thinks you're going to be stars, like Candice, Indy Hartwell, Tegan Knox. Like, come on. I don't quite get this comment.
That's making my brain hurt.
Are you on? But that was generally what a promoter is supposed to do, is push the people he thinks are going to be
stars. I really hate when my favorite football team or sports team pushes the star players and just make sure they're out there all the time. We saw what happens when that doesn't happen with Travis Kelce and Andy Reid here.
Right. Big spine buster by Indy.
By the way, I don't think people you expect to be stars, I don't think Indy, Candice, or Tegan fit that description, respectfully.
And Shayna just chokes her out. Yeah, that's a great booking of a future star.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes getting Kata Hajime there by Josh Allen.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think there's a pecking order, guys. I think you see Indy and Candice. Yeah, you're going to use them sporadically. They're not going to win a lot, but they're going to get more ring time. They're going to mature, and eventually they'll be in a more prominent role. I mean, we've seen him try and do it with DIY, but then we've also seen him kind of, you got to give him some credit for what's happening with Drew McIntyre, Shinsuke Nakamura. Cody Rhodes' run has been outstanding with or without Vince. So let's be real.
Right, as we've got Drew McIntyre coming up next here, just walking backstage, smiling from ear to ear here.
He's in a good mood.
Right, well,
like you got a little bit of air up under that kilt. You're feeling good.
Richard saying Zoe is the best wrestler in this ring with no good gimmick. Valid.
Second best wrestler?
Who would you say is ahead of her?
Shayna Baszler. I think Shayna Baszler is more seasoned, more experienced, and overall a better wrestler.
I would say Shayna's better with her presentation where she's at. Like, Shayna has a more defined identity than Zoe. Zoe, I think, can do more in the ring than Shayna.
All right, you can have that.
That's split. Either way, it's split in half.
Mm-hmm. That just comes down to I'm like, I really like the technical Shayna, but Zoe does have a little more
than anything.
Yeah, a little more tricks in her bag, probably. Quick match, but a tap out. Yeah, there's the submission magician. What do you mean?
Well, I like this from MDB. I hate when the Lakers play LeBron in the fourth.
Some of the Lakers do too, actually, though.
Shit, we gotta keep this man, motherfucker. Now we gotta draft his kid too. Shit.
That's why he's still there, waiting for it.
Man could have gone to Golden State. You could have had LeBron and Steph Curry on the same team.
That's just unnecessary.
No, right, but as a LeBron fan, I'm not a basketball team fan. I am a LeBron James fan, self-admitted. Much like I'm an MJF fan, not exactly an AW fan at times, but
right.
You could have had LeBron and Steph on the same team, and good googly moogly. Why? Why didn't we do that?
Right. Fair enough. But folks, we are back in commercial break. Still more to come. Lots to get into as we head along tonight. I have like 50 LeBron jerseys. Laugh my ass off.
LeBron James.
LeBron. Since being on the main roster, I mean. The
other was saying, I think Indy should be pushed more. She was a tag champ with Candice in NXT and champion, but sadly they aren't doing much with her on the main roster. I mean,
she's young, guys. Like, again, I think everyone kind of gets this idea, like, I want Liv, I want this. Like, you can't push everybody to the same plateau. Can't do it.
Said though, everybody can't be at the top of the card all at the same time.
Yeah, you got to remember, once upon a time there was wrestlers that we know of as legends that weren't legends, right? Yeah, everybody, Austin, Undertaker, Trips, Foley, they all had times in their career where they were taking more L's than W's, and then they had to grow and mature and buy new gimmicks for some of them. We talk about the curtain call, Triple H just eating shit for a year long, and everyone, I like this guy, I wish they'd push him more. The modern fan struggles with that idea of Zoe's new on the scene. Who would you take time away from or wins away from for Indy? Should Rhea have less wins? Should Nia not? Would you use Indy more than Nia? Would you use Indy more than who?
As pointing out, Zoe is 30, I guess. But you hit a prime example. That's why I perked up right there, because we just had it on A&E where they were having the rival segment, and I'm waiting for the reports from Meltzer of how they're still setting up for a Rock Triple H Mania match here and everything. But I remember when the Rock and Triple H, their big feud, and what was one of the big things you tune into the pay-per-view was them fighting over the IC belt, not over the world belt. Not top of the card, guys.
Yeah.
Not anything. Yeah. But we're literally having a ladder match over the IC belt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like if you're a younger wrestling fan and you haven't been watching wrestling too long, watch some of that AEW. Don't watch some of the AEW.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
But watch some of the A&E rivals and stuff where you realize, like, shit, guys were having amazing matches and big moments in the middle of the card, not at the top, because you can only have two people fighting for the championship. So, The Rock and Triple H, Foley and Triple H, all having bangers for the mid-card stuff.
Taker didn't have a ton of runs as even the world title or anything. And again, what comes around is all around. We were talking about Ole Anderson earlier and everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll even go back to the territory ages and everything like that, to where there's guys that are Hall of Famers, that are legendary, that are icons in pro wrestling. Didn't ever have a world championship, didn't have, huge reigns, weren't always the top guy every time. There's not everybody can be at the apex of everything all the time.
Yeah. And it's all time and place. You got to give it time. You got to make it work. We got R-Truth hanging out in the JD corner.
Well, he made sure he clarified multiple times. He's like, I got to make sure I'm getting where I need to be here. So DX and the Miz, I see Miz
DX
made it out.
Miz, exactly what I was waiting to say. Yeah.
But yeah, we're not an Ostia anymore here. But we've got DX. I like how they put up, what was it last week, of not Triple H, not Shawn Michaels.
Right. I'd use Indy more than Maxine. Now, I would argue that Maxine's been minimized ever since they put her in with Rhea, and they were like, we probably shouldn't do that very much more.
But she's an alien, so if we do that, have you ever seen Independence Day? They'll show up like Independence Day if we do that.
Right. What's up?
Doing the DX though.
Yeah, he didn't.
I literally cannot wait right now already. I'm more excited than fucking Rock, Roman, Cody, any of that, of R-Truth winning a match, any match. It could be the goddamn Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, getting that pop at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that's what this is heading to, right? Like, I really think you talk about a Mania moment, that would be a big one. And they don't have to have some big old giant run, but they could have a good run with it, especially with how over they are right now. I think the place would go unglued for R-Truth winning that belt.
That's your feel-good moment, regardless of how you feel about anything else that might be booked on the card. R-Truth gets a win at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. That's your feel-good moment. That's your just my smart Mark heart grew 3 sizes that day.
Right. And I agree, man. The IC title to me is just as big as the main title. I mean, I would like to think so. I think they've done really well building it up. A big Gunther match is just as exciting as a Seth Rollins match. The regeneration.
Generation X. Stem cell. Break it down.
As Drew McIntyre out to the ring. Is he scheduled to wrestle?
Not to my knowledge, sir. So we're about to start off the top of the 3rd hour here with Drew McIntyre.
Mega. This makes me laugh. Drew was scripted to win the chamber match. Yes, just like the KC Chiefs were scripted to win the Super Bowl.
Do you want to get slapped by Austin Theory and Grayson Waller? Because that's how you get slapped by one of them.
Oh, scripted, man. What can we do? Scripted well.
And well, I still personally fucking hate that term. Like, it's simulated combat to me.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. I don't know why. It seems so crazy to have to explain this to people.
No, it seems like the only people that bring ever that shit up is the people who are upset and just can't find anything else to say.
Right. But Drew in the house, big old smile, talking to the sign, or smiling at the sign, talking to the fans.
It's true, you guys.
It's damn true.
Look into my eyes. What do you see? Yeah, almost a timeout for thee. Because of you, this happened.
I prayed
because
for
you played
this.
harder than you've ever prayed before.
Right.
I never knew Drew McIntyre was a televangelist out here.
He's saying he's jet lagged. He was first man in, first man out.
I got hurt in there. My eardrum. I'm waiting for him to bring up because of the pyro.
I was like, who's the Donzer? He said doctor. Right?
Doctor. Yeah, you're the Scottish one here.
Just like, what the fuck did he just say?
Right.
See,
Who do you think I am, CM Punk? Nothing's gonna stop me. Why?
Right. And did you see he put out today the new move he's using?
And he does the cross-legged sit. Let's go.
He looks quite
subtle nuances, the little jabs.
Yeah, and then he's gonna win this title, and CM Punk's gonna come back to find him.
Yeah, but then even then, you've got Seth that's just still waiting in the wings of fragile mind, fragile body, fragile ego.
And you still have that.
This is an 8-month simmer saute here. You got the South, you get that good slow cooked, smoky barbecue. This is what this is right now in pro wrestling.
Yeah, because if Punk comes back and goes after Drew, and then Punk is successful, then Seth turns back around, and we go full circle, folks. There's a lot of. It's got layers, Nick. Fucking layers.
Layers. There's Shrek out here talking about layers.
Fucking onion.
Mr. Rollins.
Well, here he comes. Burn it down.
Now, is it interesting? Bold strategy to sit cross-legged in a kilt. Bold strategy.
Bold
strategy.
I knew he was crazy, but I can see his nuts.
Well, speaking of nuts, we got Seth Rollins.
Amen.
And this man keeps dressing like it's a 1990s, 2000s music video.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's just wearing baggy pants to cover up his knee brace. Like he's like, I don't want people to see the brace, which originally he didn't care. So I'm like, that's the new move. He's lying to people saying I'm medically cleared, but he's actually probably not.
This man's coming out here wearing a fucking burgundy tarp.
Yeah, he looks like somebody put Barney in the dryer.
Yes and no, because he's smaller and larger at the same time.
Right? True can go to hell.
We got DM Hunk chance in the chat.
Yeah. DM Hunk. And his new move, the Go-to-Mania, the GTM. He put that out there today. The Go-to-Mania.
Is that what he's going to call the Future Shock DDT?
It's his version of the go-to-sleep.
So it's just the go-to-sleep.
Yeah, it's just go-to-sleep.
It's just Scottish somehow.
Scottish nuts. Drew is good. Yeah, like Boston Gamer said, this is the Drew McIntyre we didn't know we needed. Like, dude, we forever talked about what are they going to do with Drew? He's getting so stale, and these babyface promos suck. And all of a sudden, they just seem to just hit pay dirt. And this is the best Drew we've gotten in years.
It seems, though, again, once everybody had their Vincectomy and Hunter's been back in charge of creative, we let people be who they are and express themselves to their fullest potential. Like, think about it. Everybody wanted Drew McIntyre to have his WrestleMania moment because he got robbed of it because of the May 19th and everything.
Yeah.
He's going to have his WrestleMania moment. He will leave WrestleMania as a champion, but he'll be getting booed instead of cheered. And it'll be 10 times better than when he was getting cheered.
Right. So Punk is going to make a porno with Drew. Yuck. Dave, I'm not quite sure how you got to that conclusion, but interesting. And yeah, very.
We don't need to know about your fantasies in the chat.
Jesus. CM Punk is definitely going after Drew. He's been talking too much of his for his own good, 100%. And Punk actually said it. When I come back, I got a receipt with your name on it.
Right. Well, and Connor even says it took Punk's injury for this version of Drew to happen, and I'm okay with it. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's very accurate, Nick. And sometimes that's the best shit, and we talk about it all the time. Like something that happened organically. He didn't mean to hurt Punk. As we know, as some pointed out, it might be scripted. But Punk gets hurt, and then he rubs salt in the wound, and it instantly puts him in the direction he needs to go.
Two things. Triple H's creative has always been good at pivoting, as we've already talked about with Cody, Rock, all of that, etc. And the best things in pro wrestling happen when they're organic, when they're naturally you get behind them. Yeah. That's why for the longest time, under again, hashtag Vincectomies, when you had Zack Ryder, got screwed over by that because he got himself over when he was supposed to. And now he's Matt Cardona on the Indies.
Right.
Granted, not the best example, but at least, Rusev Day got over, but Miro hasn't capitalized since then. But yeah.
Yeah, and I think part of what they've done well is the bleeding of the real. Like Triple H is more in the know, more aware of social media, more like the team around him. They're like more and more, they're all pulling in, they're using social media to build stories. And they're that's what's making this Drew run is a lot of shit he's saying is true.
He's the justified heel, and I've said this for the longest time. Of he's saying what a lot of people, like you said, on the dirt sheets, the skid marks, the Twitters, the X's, the Meltzers, everything like that. I've been saying about Punk. He's saying what Nicholas and Matthew Jackson are saying, except they're saying it a day late and $1 short.
Yeah. Yep. Seth, Jack Smoochie.
Yeah, man's out here even with, it's not even just burgundy, it's like corduroy,
right,
or something. It's like, it's fuzzy. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a revolutionary, was a visionary.
You should call the Future Shock the Guinness Plunge or something. or something.
I don't know. You come up with it. Well, thanks for the suggestion.
Off. All
Why does his
right.
outfit have so many pockets?
And Seth is thinking. And the crowd, the minute we get some downtime, start in again.
Does that not show you how over he is, though? Instead of doing that do 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 do, which I always wanted to do, we had a
let it breathe, milk the crowd. I mean, again, Seth is over as fuck. There's undeniable.
This popped me. This is beautiful. What is that? Velvet?
I'm waiting for fucking him to start singing Purple Rain.
Zoolander. There's no rain, so he can't sing Purple Rain. He can be like the Super Bowl halftime show.
Is this Velvet?
What is this? A Mania match for ants?
Right. Seth, he's so hot right now.
Stop trying to make Rollins work. It's not going to work.
I love that Drew said, "Don't ruin my moment by continuing to mess with the bloodline."
Valid, actually. That's like you said, and you were hinting at us. That's been the best thing with Drew McIntyre is sensible talking from that man. Of he seems to somehow be the voice of fucking reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, it works so well.
Like he's a heel, but he has a valid reason and a valid, like, logical backing to it.
Yeah. But what if you're wrong, Drew? What if you're wrong?
What if you're a cripple, Seth?
That boring ass Universal title.
Now, what do you think about the idea that Seth turns on Cody? That's been pitched out there because, again, at this point, we're going to throw every strategy out there.
It's possible. I mean, again, it would be very interesting, but would Seth lose his title and then turn on Cody? What do you do? Does Cody win it? And then you get Cody Seth for the other title because Roman's not around anymore. I don't know. I think this one's for you from Robert.
You said that like you didn't read it before you said that.
Well, I don't know if it's for you or just about you, but here you go.
We are live. That's again his gimmick. Well, I don't know why I'm getting poked in there. Nick gonna watch big man match. I again, like I said, you get booked into all the technical matches. You got the gold KJs, the KJ Memorial Battle Royals, and everything. I get the Meat Palooza. I got the Meat NATO.
Gimmick heavy.
Yeah, I've got the big beefy boys slapping meat, the meat bonanza here.
Wow.
So Seth's trying to get Drew to tear apart the bloodline with him.
We're going to tear down the bloodline and do it for the industry.
It feels a little like a modified when you were trying to get people unified under WCW to go at the NWO.
Yeah, I mean, again,
I'm a bit of a stretch, but I can see the seeds planted.
I'm still kind of trying to decipher, like, again, you know, it's supposed to be Drew, Seth, build that up. Drew's doing a good job, but Seth is like justifying, like, it's like he's trying to talk Drew, like, help me take down Roman and the bloodline before Mania. This way we don't have to think about him after Mania. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't quite get it yet.
You wonder where the payoff is going to happen. Like, do you get like night one of fucking Bloodline versus WWE or something, and then you get all the matches on night two or something? Like you said, there's no there's no pay-per-view between here. We're 40 days left. We're 40 days and 40 nights.
Yep.
So where's the payoff gonna culminate to end this and then keep going to Mania?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't. Like, I mean, again, and I think people are going to have opinions before this works out. But yeah, it's definitely trying to figure out all these little moving parts. Like Seth wants to continue his war with the bloodline, but then you start wondering about the other things of like, is it just bullshit? Is he going to turn? Will he reunite with Roman? Again, so many nice little pieces up in the air.
And exactly that of too, can you really take down the bloodline when you've got now The Rock, who's on the board of directors, showing up 3 weeks in a row?
Mm-hmm.
You've got Roman, you've got Jimmy, you've got Heyman, you've got Solo, and who's to say that we don't bring in a Lance and a Wahi, a Jacob Fatu, and just start to really batten down the hatches here? We get a mercenary like Braun Breaker.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's a lot of possibilities, a ton of possibilities. As Nia Jax enters the ring as we go to break, she will be taking on Liv Morgan next, coming out of the commercial break. So that is next on the docket again. The women got a prevalent role. I think somebody was saying something. Where was it? Even the women's matches tonight made sense. Chelsea hated Raquel being a surprise in the Battle Royal, and Shayna hated that Indy and Candice got the title matches. Again, a rhyme and reason for every little thing. Don't just do it for the sake of doing it.
Absolutely. And again, there's layers. There's story here. As even now we're hyping up, and they even point out how Scottsdale, Arizona this Friday is sold out with The Rock showing up.
I agree. Nia wins. Yeah, let us know. I can't imagine Nia losing after everything else she's done. Liv winning would kind of blow my mind.
I saw people in the chat saying, "Poor Liv, tease and peace, rest in peace, Liv." Right? Yeah.
Oh, poor girl. I think it's all but guaranteed that Seth, Cody versus Rock Roman will happen night one. Seth might want Drew to stop outside interference. So they do. I mean, that's such a weird thing. Like, are they overdoing it if you do the tag match night one and then the main event night two? Or they tie it together all with a nice little story? I'm really curious.
All of this is confusing and entertaining all at the same time, because there's, like you were saying there's the thought of them doing a tag match. There's the thought of the singles match between Cody and Rock. There's the thought of, say a Seth heel turn.
Yep.
We still now Drew's getting thrown in and we don't know where he fucking stands on any of this. It's just so now it's becoming this whole fucking sphere of
it's this right here on the screen from Bama. Seth is recruiting for the Infinity War. Like, Avengers Unite. Like,
all right. So let's cast. Who's who.
Well, we know who Captain America is. Done.
Yeah, Cody.
Who's Iron Man? I mean, technically,
Seth.
It would be Seth. Yeah. Drew gets to be Loki, I think, because then nobody likes somebody who's going to help out.
Or is he Thor? Is he Thor?
He could be Thor. Fair enough.
He might be Thor like... from that. His ear's Thor from all the pyro.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. His ear Thor.
Right. Mike Tyson, he's ear Thor.
But yeah, I think
is Roman or is Dwayne Thanos?
I mean, technically, Roman would be Thanos, and then would that make Rock kind of like Khan?
Yeah, like, well, you get caught up.
He already fucked up one thing. I don't want to put him in there.
Yeah, no, you don't get caught up. Be more Galactus if we're going by comic books.
Well, yeah, and I'm mad that Galactus hasn't had more comic book love, to be honest.
In case you were wondering if we're fucking nerds, by the way,
I'm gonna go read about it.
You're watching us talk about pro wrestling as KJ's taking a pause to go and thumb through his comic book collection here. But Absolutely, folks. I will remind everybody as we are in commercial break, we are the Wrestling for Life Network. Again, nobody covers pro wrestling like we do. We do this live for anything and everything. We're back at it like a jackrabbit. Tuesday for NXT, Wednesday Dynamite, Thursday TNA, Friday SmackDown, this, that, and the third. Saturday is going to be Collision and House of Glory, and Sunday Revolution. But absolutely, not only do we cover all the wrestling, we just do it better than anybody else out there. And we're more reliable and we're more entertaining. We always say the wrestling may suck, but we never do. As again, we're getting another hype up video for WrestleMania. And again, what type of files does the Weeknd have in this whole Vince situation to where he's, the theme constantly for every goddamn pay-per-view I feel out here, or at least every WrestleMania. But yeah, as we're getting the hype video for WrestleMania, and we're only 40 days away, folks. Trust me. We're on the fast track here. It's still a little bit over a month away, but it's going to go by at a rocket's pace here. And I am Iron Man. Ronan, shout out. And fun fact, I believe, I feel like it's common knowledge, at this point, that whole line of Robert Downey Jr.'s was improv. But as Liv's already halfway through her entrance here, she's out here, the biggest, I guess, Jungle Boy fan out here with Cry About It on her shirt here. That's her new theme. But who you taking, folks, whether you're taking Liv or you're taking Nia? And am I the only one that finds it interesting or has noticed that at Windy City Riot for New Japan, for their kind of US version, they're going to debut Jack Perry in Chicago. Boy, howdy, if he wasn't supposed to be a heel, he damn sure is going to be afterwards. But who you got? I know KJ was all about Nia here. I'm going to take Liv. I think we're going to get Liv in like a little surprise roll up here. I know, big Samoan drop. I'm making me eat my words. I know we could still very much see Nia involved in a title picture. We could see her involved in this, that, and the third. Again, we've talked about WWE at this point has a wealth of riches and a wealth of well-booked riches. I'll say that. But I could see you Liv here with a surprise roll-up. And maybe Liv is the one that interjects herself into the Becky Rhea match. Maybe we get a little bit of that groundswell. If I had to pick somebody that they're going to pivot to put them in the match, I'd take Liv over Nia. I'll take that. I will take that though from Nia there. The little booty slam and then the booty rub. But apparently we know Liv's got an infatuation with booties as she was out there, on Elimination Chamber just punching, Bianca's behind for no reason. If I'm gonna quote my best Excalibur here, isn't this like the muffler stretch there? She literally just swung Liv into the middle turnbuckle to knock her out here. I think Becky comes out and costs Nia the match for the beatdown earlier. Then it gets, then we get do we get a tag match or we get a continuation? So I could see it. God damn it. I was trying to avoid it. But then you get an end to a no contest. As we're getting, is Nia halfway trying to not do a my hole? Live with a tope as Nia's out here having to sell this, that, and the third. She was selling her hip. She was selling my hole. But yeah, as now Liv hits the tope and is selling her chest as we're out to a commercial break again here, folks. Yeah, damn, my hole. That's what it very much looked like she was selling there. But I will remind everybody, find your hole, pause, and click that like, share, and subscribe button as we, like I said, we're at 3.9K already. We still got till Saturday to hit that 4K because that's our birthday. 2 years in the game here. Still, and just taking it over as I see 74 likes on the stream as I see 82 people watching with us. So again, if you haven't hit that like button, help, I guess, stroke off that algorithm pause and make sure you hit that like button. This just in, as Nia lays out her finisher, the Annihilator, and by accident, why did I click on that? Nick Bray, you had me in the first half. Again, like I said, at times if you put it in the comments and get us in the first half, we'll read it. Wonder how deep it is. Pause. Yeah. This is the beginning towards Survivor Series Bloodline for. Oh, Larry, that's not a bad shout. Now, that's a very much a long play. Well, like we joked about now before, as we're in a commercial break again. So we'll continue this Marvel linear thought here of we're in the end game now here. So shit. So we'd have Dwayne, Roman, Solo, and Jimmy, 4 right there, unless we add anybody else. And then we've got Sami. We've got Seth, Cody. I guess we'll have to add Sami, and I just arbitrarily added him in here. And Drew. Ooh. That's a little wrestling civil war there a little bit here. Granted, we had the Bloodline civil war earlier, or what they had teased about, what they had thought about. Now, does anyone think that we get additional members to the Bloodline? We get a Lance Inawahi, we get a Jacob Fatu, we get a Christ. We talked about Tama Tonga showed up in NXT. I know he's not, of the Inawahi bloodline, but I mean, he's Samoan-ish. So do we get, he looks like Roman Reigns. So do we get, that kind of bleed in, that crossover, or do we even get a Braun Breaker who Paul Heyman's taking a fancy to, taking an eye to? Do we get, adding amongst the rakes when it comes to the bloodline here? Speaking of the bloodline, like Larry said, acknowledge lights. Absolutely. And then follows it up with Nick, live with a rope, live smaller than one of her legs. Yeah, well, that's how it's the most devastating move. No one expects the Spanish Inquisition. You get Rikishi. You'll get Rikishi and you like it. Well, Rikishi not liking being, I guess, backstage out there in the, peripheral when it comes to the bloodline. Yes, MDB, Samoan-ish. Trust me. We got to have a whole Wrestling for Life dictionary coming out here. Oh, as we've got the telestrator again. We don't have the, the John Madden, boom. And then we go over here. We boom. No, we have, showing Liv's face of pain here before she bounces off the bottom turnbuckle there. As we're back to the action. You know who would look great in a Hode? I don't know, Christian, who would look great in a Hode, but I know you would look great in a Wrestling for Life Network Hode. Because we got the merch store, everything. We got anything and everything for your pro wrestling needs. Even when we're moving, when Monday Night Raw, as we're watching right now, moves to Netflix, we got your Netflix and chill or Netflix and wrestling shirt already set there and, lined up for you. So you can just, let your honey, let your boo-boo know what you're about that action here when you're about to talk that wrestling when it comes to Monday nights. When you fire up that Netflix, you're about to watch that wrestling. Rikishi Lawler once said he has buns of cinnamon. Fair enough. You can have that. Liv going for the 1, 2 go. Gable, Sami, Andrade, Dom, Bronson, Shinsuke, Ricochet, Ivar, tournament, and the winner fights Gunther at Mania. Or that's shit. That might be your Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and we just do it for the IC belt. That'd be interesting as hell. Headbutt from Nia on a Liv. Cody's story was scripted, but apparently had a major typo in it. Well, no, like Grayson Waller even pointed out at Chamber. Well, thanks to the American education system, that's why Cody's still trying to finish his story here. As Liv just literally just ran into getting Samoan dropped onto the ring post on the outside here. What card looks better this week, NXT or Dynamite? So who called it? Who gets the Brucey bonus points here? I won't check answers here, but who gets the Brucey bonus points of? So Becky shows up out here and is just taking it to Nia, just smashing her face into the table. What is it with the Rollins household of just dressing like 90s music videos? Like they're starting to seem like, should be more Northwest than Becky Seth here. AW at this time can draw flow. Whoa. Becky here, no contest. So, well, could this be? I like this. I like this as we cut to Liv's face, and she looks super dejected because there's been the rumor, there's speculation that we could be getting a Liv heel turn here. So it would be Liv loses the match and Nia wins because of the disqualification from Becky. Could that send Liv down that whole spiral of you cost me this? Of she just starts to turn into a little blonde hot topic Smeagol there. I think that could be the issue because right there they were tight on her face, and she just looked like she was about ready to snap. Should have known shenanigans. 4-1. Speaking of shenanigans, I'm gonna what the next motherfucker that says shenanigans.
Shenanigans?
What? Hey KJ, what's the name of that restaurant you like with all the goofy shit on the wall?
Shenanigans.
Oh.
But interesting scenario. A lot of people have talked about the potential heel Liv and being mad at Becky. You could definitely set that off.
Right. 90s music. Becky is rocking the Michael Jackson Thriller from the 80s. Well,
But yeah, we're setting up the main event, and now we're with the commentators. Oh, rest in peace, Ole Anderson.
The Minnesota Wrecking Crew.
Yeah.
Or no, the Minnesota Wrecking Crew was getting Shelton and Brock. What the fuck am I talking about?
No, but back in the day, all the guys that were coming out of Minnesota were getting that distinction.
Fair enough.
And that's funny because every time they do that ad for WrestleMania with the weekend, I think and anyone else out there, tell me if you hear it. Maybe you'll hear it now that I say it. Every time it starts, it sounds like the opening to Mr. Perfect's music. And so I'm like, oh no, it's WrestleMania. Every time it sounds like Mr. Perfect.
Doesn't smack the gum this time.
Right? The weekend has to come out and smack the gum.
Yeah. He needs somebody needs to smack the weekend, I think, more than he needs to smack gum.
I got love for the fellow Canadian, fellow Torontonian.
Yeah, but like who?
I don't get it.
What dirt sheet, what file has not been brought into evidence that he owns to why he's at the fucking theme for every WrestleMania of all time?
I don't know because I miss the days of where the song
I'm gonna do things my way.
Or Highway to Hell was a great one. I liked when the song matched the show, not just like this really good artist who has a song. We'll make Gasoline the pay-per-view. Like, what does Gasoline? Maybe I haven't listened to the lyrics enough of this particular song, but what does this have to do with WrestleMania? I don't get it.
La gasolina.
Oh, God.
Well, I guess Paul Heyman was in the background.
Was he? Oh, look.
Background?
There you go. I missed it.
Right. Pat is so disingenuous. He shouldn't have said anything. He's never heard of Ole.
That's not true.
What in the name of O'Shea Jackson are we doing?
Well, again, I don't think that's true. Don't forget, Pat trained to wrestle. Pat has a ring. Pat is a fan of wrestling. That's how he got here. So he knows who Ole Anderson is. He trained with what's his face? Why is his name escaping me right now?
Adam Cole, baby.
No. Yeah.
Either way, honestly,
Back
to me, to sit there and say, "Oh, you never knew who he was. You weren't an actual fan." Like, to say that's disingenuous, like, that's a little disgusting. Like, to me, respectfully, of the guys out here saying, I'm sad for this man's loss. Hopefully his family does well and everything like that.
Yeah.
He's trying to pay respects. And you're like, what a fucking loser. He never knew who Ole was. He wasn't out there watching the Four Horsemen. He wasn't out there watching, Mid-South Pro Wrestling. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Right.
Why are we trying to drive away everybody that tries to be an actual wrestling fan that doesn't know as much wrestling as we do? Honestly. What the fuck are we doing? How are we expecting this to grow?
Right, there you go. Should have picked on Pat, folks. But
no.
And again, like I said, like Pat, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm trying to, is it Rip Rogers? Did he spent time with Rip, didn't he?
Maybe.
I think it's Rip. I don't know. Somebody else, fact checkers out there can let me know. But I mean, the guy is genuinely was a wrestling fan, put time into it. That's why when he does get in the ring, he sells his ass off. He can hit, his spots. I would say him not knowing who the Anderson family was probably inaccurate.
Well, no, John saying, "Damn, everything I say is controversial." No, it's just it's a good. I appreciate it in the sense of it's a good launching point. It's a good example of. Trust me, you may say it in our chat, but there's a lot of people who are saying that and they mean that shit 100%.
Right. As we were back from commercial and Becky giving it, Pierce looks really fucking bothered with everybody tonight. Like he really feels like why is everyone up my ass?
I'm sick of you. I'm sick of this shit.
Uh-oh. Not everything has to be about you. Oh, now she's being treated like a man. Heard that plenty of times.
When I was a young boy, my father took me into the city.
Too funny. They just
the
had
Jackie Redmond show airing every Thursday at NHL on YouTube. Special guest Jey Uso. Boy, if WWE ain't after KJ's heart, I don't know what is. At NHL on YouTube. The Jackie Redmond.
Jackie does worked with sport, came out of the sports networks here. She's
Canadian. We know
she's Canadian, so it all ties together. But at NHL, so there are more crossover love as we got Jay.
When we had the UFC, now we got the NHL. We're just
right
international.
The belt at the Super Bowl, the belt at NBA All-Star. Like there again, when we talk about people might not love what they get from the WWE, but they are at the top of the mountain.
No collision, but we can get the WWE Championship belt there on TNT. As Jay's got Yeet sunglasses, by the way.
Thank you. So yeah, James confirming Rip Rogers.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, again, we know Pat is a personality, but he genuinely is a wrestling guy. As Drew. Man, this is insane. Like, listen, I know some people out there are going to question a lot of things, and then it's instinctually to go negative, but like all of this is such a twisted tale of like, I want to know more.
Well, somebody mentioned while you were on a pause about it being building towards Survivor Series, but I think it also just initially helps really set up.
Jay just throwing.
Just throwing hands. I was about to say this is still setting up of this shows who your top 5 main event guys are. This is your starting 5.
Yeah, a little bit in a lot of ways. And I mean, it's definitely, again, it's like Drew's got beef with Punk. Seth's got beef with Punk. Cody's got beef with Drew. Drew's got beef with everybody. Like, it works and it feels legitimate.
Right. As we got
fucking Waller.
The AR of, the shoeies and everything. But I do like what's legitimate to me is that they've now got the graphics of, the one match to go. That's become a consistent. But speaking of going, I'm going to go take a pause here.
There you go. Nick's taking a pause for the cause. Grayson Waller coming out. And I think the people who confirmed, I thought it was Rip Rogers. I didn't want to misspeak. But I do appreciate that Bama Beard and the others who mentioned it. But yeah, what do you guys think? Drew McIntyre in fighting with Jay now. Like, who saw that coming? You should always question everything. Yeah, who? That's a quote. Man, that's gonna bother me. Welcome to the unhealthy obsession to the road, WrestleMania. Let the crazy begin. I think it's healthy. I'm feeling like it's a healthy obsession, Christian. I think we're good with it. It's a lot of things up in the air, a lot of questions to be answered, a lot of things that need to be tied together. Is this building towards Survivor Series? It's hard to imagine that again, long-term storytelling, and perhaps, it's hard to think that all of this that's happening now is building to a pay-per-view that's like 8 months away. But maybe Drew loves poking the bear. It is really Drew's forte at this point. If the wrestlers are sour about something, if the fans are sour about something, in comes the man with the skirt who wants to let everybody know exactly how they should feel. And it's working. It's been the best Drew McIntyre in a long time. Drew told him at the bottom of my heart, you deserve this, right? You deserve it. Yeah, no, again, there's Jay, instead of being, obviously, he has no reason to be the sympathetic voice, literally walks in and just pokes the bear, kicks a man when he's down. And now this is probably going to lead to some Jay Drew situation as we need to kill 40 days. I only knew about Ole like 5 years ago, and I've been watching wrestling for 30 years. Fair enough. KJ, I like from Starship Troopers. Would you like to know more? Would you like to know more? Yeah, push the button. The inmates are running the asylum. Adam Pearce looks like the inmates are getting on his nerves. And I think he's doing it very well of selling the idea that he's stressed. Anyone else getting that vibe from Pearce of just glasses off, rubbing the bridge of his nose, just like, holy shit, I hate all of you right now. Bad, good, indifferent, I don't care. You guys are all getting under my skin. Every time I turn around, I'm trying to put another fire out. I like it. I really do. I think it's working very well for Adam Pearce. And again, he's having a rough go. Everybody's mad at everybody. Same thing. Nia's wiping everybody out. Becky's got an issue with Nia. Now Liv's got an issue with Becky. I love it. I love the layering of all of this. Main event, Macho Man Jey Uso. Oh, yeah. Got Cody Rhodes for the win. I'm pretty sure I did Kool-Aid instead of Macho, but whatever. We have about a half hour for this match. Does it end clean? With Paul Heyman lurking in the background, there is potential for shenanigans in this one as well. I would not rule out some type of funky business. We've already been told that the bloodline will not rest until, they're going to continue to mess with Cody. Again, this feels like a bit of a layup match for Cody and Waller to go 30 solid. We got about 20 minutes now. Come out of another commercial, then an entrance. We'll be down to about 15 minutes. But yeah, I would not rule out that some funkery could happen. Becky versus Nia next week. There you go. Next Monday, Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre. Called that. But again, layers. It's all about layers. Becky Lynch, Nia Jax next week. I'll accept that. Should be good. Grayson Waller will be interrupted by a real wrestler, a real Australian. Bill Dundee. Shout out to old Bill. I'd love for Mickie James to return and get her 7th title. I love Mickie James. I really do. I'm a big fan of Mickie. She's doing, she's working with OVW, which can only be a good thing. Her coming back into the fold, I'm all for it. If she can still go, she was working consistently. She had an amazing run in TNA this last run. Her husband's here. We kind of thought she'd be at Rumble. Instead, we got, Jordan Grace. But at the end of the day, I love Mickie, so I won't complain. But here comes Cody Rhodes, the road to WrestleMania. It's crazy. A lot of us were done with Drew just a few months ago. He's amazing right now. John, you were factual there. I am included. Like, and this is an example of good writing and taking advantage of situations and doing it well can change your mind. I sat on these streams with Nick for weeks, and it wasn't that long ago, about Drew's done. Drew keeps losing. Drew's had multiple chances at Cody, multiple chances at Drew. All right, Seth. Drew's not doing anything and coming out doing these like poor me speeches were not helping him get over. Punk gets hurt in the Rumble, and just like that, because it's organic, it feels authentic. You're letting him be more of him. Even that moment there with Jay, it's not like Drew to walk over and be nice. You deserve it. And here we go, another reason for a fight. It's adults getting into having adult problems and settling it out in the ring. I love it. I think this is what wrestling needs. I think we need more of it. And I know, KJ, you're just a WWE shill. Nah, I appreciate what they're doing. I really, truly do. Not a skirt, but a kilt. Get it right. Yeah, fair enough. It's kind of like this guy. Never say skirt. It's funny to say it. I would love to see Grayson Waller effect to happen at WrestleMania. It was successful at Elimination Chamber. I don't love the talk show segments. I don't love them. It served its purpose at Chamber. At Mania, yeah, I guess. Again, if you're going to do something where you bring out a celebrity or like what we saw it before with Austin coming out, if you're going to set up something like that, the talk show leads to a bit of a brouhaha. I'm fine with it, but again, do we need it? I don't really know. The Waller effect's cute, but I could do without it. Drew got watermelons under that skirt. Huge fucking melons. Yes. Waller for the win with help. Waller is not winning, Vance. Cody will either win or this match will not have a distinct winner. That's my take on it. I'd be shocked if Cody takes it out, especially to Waller. I mean, Waller is a great kid, got a bright future, but he's not going to beat Cody Rhodes tonight, even with help. Substantial help, maybe, but I don't see it. Who faces Gunther at Mania? Gable, Braun, Breaker. Smile Mark, I'm starting to feel like there might be some type of number one contender battle. I don't want a battle royal fatal four-way. Something coming up. Gable wants it. We talked earlier about potentially other people being involved. Sami Zayn, maybe. The IC title, very much like the main title, is there's several people that are chomping at the bit. But I will take more predictions, folks, as we head into the final match of the night. The main event is off and running. Waller with never mind. Cody reversing and slapping the shit out of him. Theory going to turn on Waller. Not yet. Too soon. But eventually. Yes. Speaking of vitamins, amen. Fantasy booking, KO and all this versus Solo and Rock at Mania. Definitely fantasy. I like all this. I'm really curious if we'll ever see an all this match. Another one that they've talked about in the last couple of days, because he's medically cleared, though he's very happy doing his producer stuff, is Robert Roode. And I've said for a long, long time, we need at least one more glorious entrance. He doesn't have to stay for a long time. I know he's in the twilight of his career. I know he's doing his producer thing. But man, if we could get one more Robert Roode entrance, one time, I'd be very happy. That'll get a pop and then some. Adam Pearce definitely seems stressed. Yeah, stressed to the teats. Jay versus Drew again next week. Absolutely. That match will not have a definitive winner. I think that match is going to be a kerfuffle. But it's all building towards something. It feels like they're putting all these pieces in place for a reason. So, yes, we might get it again. But, yeah, I want the best to fight the best. Nathan Jones. I remember I went to a live show and Nathan Jones had taken the spot of somebody of value. I can't remember who it was, but when they announced Nathan Jones, the Canadian crowd was not happy that it was Jones and not who it was supposed to be. But we go back into commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. Theory going to turn on Waller. I already got that one. Cody for the win. Cody for the win. Cody Cutter for the win. Cody for the win. Chambers 0 to 10. No Nicole Kidman. I like that, Larry. I like it. It was great to see Shayna and Zoe versus Indy and Candice tonight. But damn, I'm also torn when WWE has my fave face off because I want to see both of them win. I get it. And I mean, that's the part of the thing of being a wrestling fan is, I mean, you have your favorites, you have the people that you're not thrilled about, but when your favorites come together, you don't really know what to do. So I would say that the WWE in most cases have come up with an idea. And like even with Drew, right? You make Drew a definitive heel to take on a definitive babyface. And that's when you get your best results, your best reactions. W. There you go, John. So far, the successful talk shows have been we have had at WrestleMania are Roddy Piper, legend, of course, with the Dewey with the smoke segment, and one with Stone Cold Steve Austin. There's been more than that. Let's be real, but I mean, yeah, definitely two standouts. Theory may actually turn on Waller in some way at WrestleMania. He'll get a massive pop if they book it properly. I think in time, I do like them kind of working together right now. As singles, they're not really, there's not a whole lot of area for them to go into. So them hanging out together, even if they were more like put them in more tag team matches and let them be team douchebag, and it works. I think Waller loses because Theory doesn't help him, leading to Waller attacking Theory. All right, let's see. A lot of people asking. All right, we'll see. We'll see. Awesome main event battle between two typical suburban boys named Cody and Grayson. Oh, yeah. We're just waiting for Chad to show up. Yeah, you're not wrong. Austin's on the outside of the ring, Rio, for sure. John, I agree. Will Jade Cargill be in a match at Mania? Smile Mark, great question. I truly don't know. I mean, we got 40 days to build up this card. Was there something like so many moving parts right now? Like we just said with Liv and Becky and Nia, and where does Jade fit in? What do you do with Jade? How do you make it relevant? How do you make it so that she's just not an afterthought? I could see her at Mania. I could see her making a statement at Mania, but not being in a match. Perhaps something like Rhea wins and she turns around and Nia comes out to stand face to face, or something like that. Or Belair's in a match and Jade comes out and beats up Belair, leading to them to have a match. I don't know if she's necessarily in a match, but I would be surprised if she's not present at Mania at all. Cody Rhodes for the win. Cody Rhodes for the win. Robert Roode said he would do a final match if it was AJ Styles. Take my money. I'll sign up, John. I'm with you. I think that's a great idea. Robert Roode, AJ Styles, one time only. A farewell to Robert Roode, maybe a farewell to AJ, depending on when they do it. I would be for it. And I said, I just feel like we deserve at least one more glorious entrance. Come on. Am I wrong? Used to drive down the road listening to that song. Michael Cole said, breaking news, Paul Heyman is backstage. So Michael Cole calling it out. Very interesting, Dale. Thank you for that tidbit. I missed that. And definitely, I think definitely intrigue to this part as they've kind of used Grayson Waller and Austin Theory as, mercenaries a little bit, hired help, friends of the cause, whatever you want to call it. But we are back from commercial. Waller in control until Cody off the ropes. Heating up and over. And the big power slam. There we go. Cody loses because of the bloodline interference. Interesting. Could happen. I don't know if he loses, though. Disaster kick. 1, 2. We got a 2. Hit that like button, please, all. Yeah, if you're here right now and you haven't hit like, we beg you. We ask you nice. Please hit the like button. It helps our algorithm, makes us feel good. So if you're watching us right now, hit the like. Be a part of the fun. Be a part of the show. And big stiff right hand by Waller as Theory distracts Cody. Will Zoe Starks get a WrestleMania match? And it's because she needs one. Again, I think at this point of her career, she doesn't need one. Could she be in something like a tag team match? Yeah, maybe they do. Anybody care if they do? But they might do one of those like superstar showcases like they did last year, where they just had like 2 fatal 4-ways. Maybe. Oh, going for the rolling flatliner, which I hate. Eats a Cody cutter for his effort. Robert Downey Jr. makes more sense. I was trying to figure out who Dowie was. It was Morton Downey. That's even better. Let's go. Thank you. Morton Downey Jr. Crossroads 3. An emphatic win, which it should be, but so much time left on the clock. Cody barely breaks a sweat in this one, guys. Interesting. I'll come back to this one, JV. I think it potentially could have existed without Cody. Maybe not as clean in the early days. Cody was a big part of everything that happened. If you go back in time and erase Cody, would our Ring of Honor flip the bill for the first pay-per-view? Again, I mean, you got to remember, one of the biggest parts of All In, the original All In, was Cody and Aldis. Now, we're far from over. Here comes Paul Heyman. Jade and Bianca. Yeah. But again, she might not be in a match. Bianca could get into a match, and we could just have Jade show up. But here comes Paul with security. Demands it. Oh, grabs a chair, then calls for a mic. Looking like Stone Cold calling for a beer. What is our take here, guys? Sure. Sure. Yeah, there's some things that are inaccurate. Cody's done extremely well. He is literally the biggest babyface in all of wrestling. So you'd like it or not. I mean, does his long, politically bland promos get boring? Yes. WWE minimizes that. They know how to write it better. And to say anything is elementary from that gentleman, I don't know, man. I think that's just a negative take. I think it's inaccurate. All right. There you go, because the story is more important than the match. So Paul's saying the only member of the bloodline here tonight is me. Dun, dun, dun. 10 minutes left, still going. The NYPD, my friends. What's 5-1? 5-1, 5-1. Security. Yeah, no, apparently they're off-duty NYPD officers. Four and 2, finally a comeback. Not bad. Cody, keep your head on a swivel. Yeah, I wonder what the fuck is happening here. Cody didn't need a chair for those skinny security guys. The chair helps when you're outnumbered, though. It's a trap. I feel like it's a trap. 5-1. I'm assuming the three gentlemen are Paul Heyman guys. These are Paul Heyman cops, crooked cops, all suspended. So he said, interesting. Okay, so Paul's a little all over the place. Where's the LAPD? Right? Solo from behind feels possible. Paul says, I forgive you, but The Rock won't. To get Will Smith across the face. Pleading, begging with you. Please. Please. Change your mind. Irreverent. with a cherry on top, says Paul. Oh, stalling. It feels like stalling. I feel like, yeah, like, are they going to arrest Cody? Can the NYPD arrest anyone? Just randomly show up in LA and arrest people? Don't you all have rules against that? It'd be hilarious. These guys are not John McClane. No. And this isn't fucking Tommy. Walrus. We're out there, Walrus. Walrus. Cuckoo Cachoo. All right, Cody cutting a promo back. Facts. From Detroit to Beverly Hills. It worked. KJ, I don't understand why they call it the Undisputed Universal Championship. I don't either. They should just call it, and they dropped Universal, by the way. They're not calling it Universal anymore. Just WWE Championship. Undisputed is inaccurate. Oh, I like it, Boston. Now the cops are up on the apron. Paul's up on the apron. Cody refusing to back down, basically saying, if I don't, what, Cody basically telling Paul not to get in the ring. Yeah, I like this. Torturing the guy, messing with him all the way up until Mania. Not a bad take, right? So these wimpy looking police officers are circling Cody. There you go. Cody gets a big pop, says, anyone steps towards me, I'm dropping them. Yeah, what's the charge, right? They charge him for hurting The Rock's hand when he slapped him? Defiant Cody taking out the cops. Fuck the police. Fuck. Oh, he just sabooed that dude. Crossroads. Right? Not wrong. Roman. Cody's done nothing wrong. Now he's got a second phone. Call Roman. Call The Rock. The bloodline isn't hunting me. I am hunting them. This man has a sticker. One that says bloodline. One that says has a little Brahma bull. He's calling both men at the same time. I guess he hasn't figured out that you can do that on one phone. But hey, the visual is gorgeous. And Cody just laying waste. We'll see. We're coming up. We're running out of time. So this just might be the moment. Again, you're building Cody. As he chucking out these men. And there's the music. How's your face? Let my ass off. That chair went right off. Yeah, he didn't ring it. He ate all of that chair. That Sabu spot gets me every single time. But hey, they're selling us for Friday. And Cody's saying, I'm hunting the bloodline. There is a good chance that Cody will be there on Friday. As Paul frantically talks into his two phones. Two-phone Paulie. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of SmackDown. We have gone off the air. Let me know. Rating out of 10. How did you feel about the show? Did you like it? Did it tickle your fancy? Did it miss some marks? I thought the ending of the show was good. I know, again, the fans are going to get all riled up and be like, oh, we didn't get enough. But again, I've said this from day one with Cody and the bloodline. It's breadcrumbs. They are just sprinkling it along to give you these little segments these little bits, and everything makes you want to tune in more. The Cody Rhodes has challenged The Rock. Paul Heyman has shown up to basically encourage him to change his mind. How do you feel about it? Clock's ticking on the tribal chief. Kyle thinks that. All right, let's go up and catch some of these ratings from the fans. That dude ate the chair. He ate all the chair. He got force fed. Kind of weird end. I don't mind it. I liked, again, I don't get, I'll put it this way. I didn't think the NYPD cop thing was necessary. I didn't, but it gives you a little bit of physicality. It was a bit silly. You could have had that interaction, maybe make the match a little bit longer, but have that interaction, but then you go off the air just on talking. So this, these random cops show up. Paul sells us on it. Burner phones for sure. Yeah, no, but I don't mind what they're building, what stories they're telling with what they gave us. I will say that. Rhodes headed and kid. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, this is getting bigger. Is Seth going to be there on Friday? Is Cody going to be there on Friday? How does Jay fit into this? He's got beef with the bloodline. I don't know, man. I really don't. Seth appealing to Drew to help get rid of the bloodline. It is very interesting. Poor suspended cops. Yeah, they didn't go so well. Damian, 8.5. Roddy, 7.5. 7 from Mike and TJ. Not enough iron in his diet. In fact, 8 out of 10. 7.75 says John. 8.25 says MDB. 8.5 from Alex Fairweather. 7 from Dale. 8 from Larry. Woo. Whoa. Not woo. I did wish there was a better main event. A 10-minute Waller match wasn't it. Again, I understand, folks. And listen, it's hard for me because I say be greedy. When we can be greedy as wrestling fans and take all the shit, take all the shit. But that match being what it was and setting up the angle that came after, it wasn't the best main event. It really wasn't. But it served its purpose. Cody Rhodes, again, a dominant win. He doesn't need to go 20 minutes with Waller in a barely beat a match where there's a bunch of near falls. And we talk about this sometimes with other wrestling promotions of if you're a top guy, you should take out a Waller. If this was another promotion, we've seen it recently where there's a veteran guy that just joined your company and there's a younger rookie and you go 25 minutes with him and barely beat him. Sends the wrong message. So I understand why Cody had the short match. And again, they have the short match because they bring out Paul. And again, they sell you on why should you tune in on Friday. That's my take. I give them good marks for it. C-Money's unhappy that there's no Trish. I would like Trish to come back. I agree with you, bro. 8 out of 10. Christian says, I give it a 10. Favorite part of the show was the New Day wearing Sharks hockey jerseys during the street fight and Cody Rhodes attacking Heyman's friends. Fair enough. That's right. Cody, take the fight to the bloodline. Invade SmackDown with your own Avengers. 9 out of 10. It feels like that's what's happening. Like we're trying to create like a wrestling civil war, like Avengers Unite. And we joked about it earlier, who plays what, but it kind of has that feel. 8 out of 10. All right, boys, I'm heading out. Have a great night. Boston, thank you for being here. 8 out of 10 says Steven. 7. Cop thing was weird. Yeah, I mean, if you just would have used like straight up WWE security, maybe. I don't know about the NYPD being brought in by. It is what it is. Yeah, small detail. I didn't love it. I definitely take a point off for that. 7 out of 10. Bad women matches and a flat main event, but solid show. I didn't think the women's matches were bad. Did you? I did miss one of them though, so I will say that, Richard. I thought the matches were okay. I thought the tag match was solid. Overall, we were good. 7.8. I'm gonna go 7.5 tonight. Cop thing two used. When was the last time we used the cop thing? I think those cop guys were tough enough, right? Fact. Good show tonight. Rashad going 8 out of 10. Dale agreeing with Richard. Less than 2 hours from Pokemon Day. Ronan, I had no idea. You enjoy poking your mon. Paul Heyman out here calling people to extend their car insurance warranty. KJ, I don't know if you get those. But here in New York, those are scams. Yeah, we get like a bunch of that shit. Insurance, the constant your bank calling you with bullshit. Building up Cody, creating more hype. 100% smile mark. I'm with it. I get it. I see it. And I understand we're on the road to WrestleMania. The breadcrumbs are important. Could have probably done without the fake cops. 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. I don't believe Drew McIntyre going to help Seth to fight the bloodline. He just jumped on Uso. Fact. Again, another weird element, another layer to all of this. But I will put last call on the chat, folks, as I see people beginning to depart as I'm going to hit the sack. But pause on that. 7-7. What else we got real quick? Watching with you guys, I think boosts our ratings because it's fun. Roddy, I appreciate that, and I love that. And I say to Nick quite a bit, actually, of like, was that show really good, or did we just have a really good time? So there you go. There you go. Yeah, Cody's a 93. Waller's a 74. Should dust them. Get them over with. We don't need long, drawn-out matches. I know some of the modern, younger fans are used to the modern wrestling where it doesn't matter who you are, you have like this 20-minute banger with everybody you fight. And I don't believe that should be the case. Have a blessed night. Peace. Good night. Tomorrow night, I'm looking forward to the OC taking on Idris. And Anofe. I want to see what that is. I want to see if we get more teasers on who's coming, who the mystery person is. I'm looking forward to the show. I'm looking forward to being here with all of you guys. Raquel Chelsea was only 2 minutes. Zoe Shayna, well, I understand why that happened. Shayna versus The Way was 4 minutes, and the Liv Nia match ended in a DQ. That's why I thought the women's matches were bad. Oh, fair enough, fair enough. Short and sweet sometimes, so it makes sense. I get you. Today is National Pistachio Day. I love me a good pistachio. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on this wonderful note and that one, I will say thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here tonight. We are back tomorrow. Click all the buttons. If you haven't hit like yet, do it on the way out. And we will be back for NXT and all week long. We are the channel that watches more live wrestling than anyone else. Big shout out to Big Nick. Big shout out to Anthony. And big shout out to everybody in the chat that made tonight a good one. We are back at it like a jackrabbit tomorrow. And until then, I will see you on the flip side. Good night. Are they really cops? That was silly.